ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, lẹ́bàá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe as you come into the chat room. It really means a lot. I appreciate everyone's support. Appreciate all of you all's support. It really means a lot. So a week from today, I will be heading to New York. And then from New York, at Sunday, which will be August 4th, we are on our way to Nigeria. We are on our way to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. Cannot wait. We are going to have a great time. Again, we are going to have a great time on our way to Nigeria. Hey, check out this video of your boy Trump telling you he's going to be a dictator. Well, he can't be a dictator without the help of without the assistance of the military and Congress and Senate and House of Representatives. I mean, in the Supreme Court, like, he just can't be a dictator. I mean, he can't. So I wouldn't take that serious. But a couple of announcements. Announcement number one, we are rolling to Benin Republic. We are rolling to Benin Republic. That is going to be January 3rd through 12th. January 3rd through 12th. We are rolling to Benin Republic for the Voodoo Festival. Again, we're rolling to Benin Republic January 3rd through 12th. January 3rd through 12th for the Voodoo Festival. If you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. We are also rolling to Sierra Leone. That's going to be April 20th to the 29th. Senegal for the Jazz Festival. That's going to be June 1st to the 10th. And then we're going back to Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. That is going to be August 3rd to the 12th. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit donfo.africa. That's DANFO.Africa. Please visit donfo.africa to learn more. I will put the link in the chat room in about 20-30 minutes. Disclaimer, this is a platform. We welcome diverse thought. We welcome diverse opinions. So when I put that link in the chat room, you are more than welcome to call in and speak your piece. Let's be respectful. Again, let's be respectful. But, you know, like I said, you are more than welcome to call in and give your opinion. If you disagree, hey, you're more than welcome to share why and how and why you disagree and whatnot. And that's okay. That is completely okay. I'm just changing a setting real quick, and then we're gonna jump into the topic of today's topic. Like, I get it. I understand why. I understand why a lot of sisters and even brothers. I understand. He said he was going to be a dictator when it comes to the border. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But, you know, people like with the whole Charlottesville, you know, when Trump spoke on Charlottesville and said there are good people on both sides, and they didn't listen to the entire speech. So they took one clip and they listened to Joy Reid and MSNBC and they completely run with one clip instead of listening to the whole entire statement or press conference that Donald Trump made. But that's another show. So yeah, when it comes to the border, he needs to be a dictator at that southern border because it's wide open right now. And our border czar, who's now claiming that she's not a border czar, is failing. So anyway, that's we'll get to that later. But I get it. Like, I completely understand. I know why sisters and brothers are rallying behind Kamala Harris. If you still ask me, I don't think it's going to be enough, because I still think she's going to get blown out by Donald Trump. Without Michelle Obama or somebody named Obama running, I just don't see a pathway to victory for Kamala Harris. But again, I understand why some sisters and brothers are rallying for her. And I remember when 08, Barack Obama. And I'll be honest, the only reason that was my first time voting. And the only reason why I voted for Barack Obama, because he was a black man. That's the only reason why I voted for Barack Obama, because he was a black man. So I understand the identity politics behind people rallying behind Kamala Harris. But a lot of people have woken up and they say, you know what, we're not about the identity politics no more. You know, the majority of black people in power here in America aren't doing nothing. In fact, what they're doing is counterproductive to black progress, i.e. the border. I'm reading your comment, Jonathan. I.e. the border. So a lot of people ain't fooling with Kamala and her record as DA when she was in San Francisco. But I still understand why. I still understand why a lot of people in the black community, but I still believe, well, let me back up. I understand why a lot of black people some black people are very, very loud about voting for Kamala. Now, I still believe she won't get as much of the black vote. In fact, she'll get less of the black vote than Hillary Clinton did. That's my opinion. So you trying to tell me the white women for Harris raised more money than the black women and the black men combined for Kamala Harris? What does that tell you? But I mean, that's another story. So the white women for Harris raised more money for Kamala Harris than the black men and black women combined. Well, I mean, that's just, black people don't put any money behind their politics anyway. So that's not, we shouldn't be surprised. So that's whatever. But I still believe, you brought up white women. I still believe that Kamala Harris is going to get less of the women vote, white women vote, and less of the black vote, men and women, get less than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. Because, my ears are on to the streets. I'm getting a pulse check of the black community in regards to who they're going to vote for. And the amount of people who said they voted for Biden in 2020, they're like, nah, we're either voting for the couch or we're voting for Trump. So that's words on the street. I'm voting for Trump. So Kamala won't perform as not even close, as good as Hillary Clinton did in 2016, and Hillary Clinton lost. When it comes to, let's look at this map real quick, guys. Let's look at this map. Hold on. Let's see, presidential polls. Hold on, I'm trying to. I want to find the actual maps. Here we go. Interact. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. Okay. Here we go. Right here. So let me share the screen. A black vote for Trump is a DEI vote. Oh, okay. Whatever that means. Okay. Whatever that means. Let's see here. Let's pull this map up real quick. Oh, what happened? Here we go. All right. So here we go. As you can see, Trump is already up. All right. So these are swing states. Like I said, Georgia's going red. Georgia is going red. That was just a one-time thing back in 2020 when it went blue. What happened to Stacey Abrams in 2021, I believe, or 2022? Was it 2000? I think it was 2021. That was a one-time thing. Georgia's definitely going back red. All right, so yeah, Pennsylvania, Michigan. So Trump is already up. All you need is 270. So Trump just needs 19 more electoral votes to clinch that 270. Trump's going to get Nevada for sure. Or all Trump needs is either, if he just gets Pennsylvania red, he's at 270. It's over. I mean, he just needs to get either Pennsylvania or get just one of these four, either out of Wisconsin. I'm sorry, two of these four, whether it be Wisconsin and Michigan, or Wisconsin and Arizona, Wisconsin, Nevada, or Michigan and Arizona, or whatever. He's clinched it. I don't see a path to victory for Kamala Harris. I don't see Kamala Harris, securing all five of these, because she's at 226. So yeah, I don't see a path for her. I think Trump gets at least. I think Trump is going to get at least three out of these five, if you ask me, at the minimum. Hell, even Minnesota's in play. Technically, kind of. Oh man, we'll stop it. We don't do hypotheticals over here. Trump has Agenda 47. Project 25 is from a separate think tank. But yeah, I don't see a path for victory. Guys, press 1 if you can hear me. I've been having some connection issues. Press 1 if you can hear me. Press 1 if you can hear. Guys, sorry. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. No, everybody's welcome in the comment section. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Guys, we're not running people off. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, if you disagree with me, you're more than welcome to call in. But yeah, link is in the chat room. It's just I don't see Kamala winning Nevada and Arizona and Wisconsin and Michigan. Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Guys, I don't know what's going on with the connection. Sorry about that, but links in the chat room. If you're going to call in after the conversation, please click on the link. Again, link is in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the conversation. Links in the chat room. You can call in, add to the conversation. Again, link. I don't know what's going on. Something, I guess my I need to add credit to my my Glow Wireless. I need to add some credit to Glow or my Obama phone. My Obama phone isn't working. Need to fix my Obama phone. But you guys are more than welcome to call in. Links in the chat room. Go ahead, Bantu.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking, what's up, man?
What's going on?
I would say don't be surprised if Kamala wins
Okay. Why you say that?
because I don't think Biden won fair and square. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could do the same thing with her because she
Okay.
are raising like record amounts of money and stuff like that.
No, I think I think the money that she raised, so called, was money that was going to go towards Biden, but the donors held on to it until the Democratic Party figured out what they were going to actually do.
Yeah, and even though Obama's came out and endorsed her early, they usually wait till like the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I would just say don't be surprised. I know logically, Donald Trump is supposed to win, but weirder things have happened.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, there's any chance for Kamala to win the election.
You said what?
I don't think there's any chance for her to win at all.
Okay.
The only vote I really think she really got solidified is just that elderly generation. Anyone between our age group, we're not swinging for Kamala.
Okay.
We're just not doing it. Today, I was walking down the street. I'm in San Francisco, and this old black man, he's like, "Man, you voting?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm voting." He was just like, "Man, we got to get Kamala in. We got to get her in." And it was just so disappointing because he sounded so excited with a Tupac shirt on. I'm like, "Oh, gee, why you want to vote for her?" He like, "Man, Trump racist, man. Man, I'm from New York, man. Everything that he did, man, I experienced all of that stuff." And I'm like, "Well, do you know that she was locking people up out here in San Francisco like it wasn't nothing? Black people, not other people, but our people." He was just like, "Yeah, man, we got to forgive her." And I'm just like, "Oh my God, it's okay, OG. You gone. There's no hope for you." So I think she'll win. It's just our generation, and maybe I think she'll have a huge problem when it comes down to winning black men over, except for that older generation that just they're gonna vote blue no matter who the hell's on the ticket.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
But other than that, yeah, she's not winning.
Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah. I also don't think she has much of a chance of winning. I think she's going to completely win over most black women. I think he's going to win she's going to win the majority of black men because, you know, at best, we only going to have about 22% of black men who are going to not vote for her and vote for Trump. But I think she has bigger problems, and her bigger problems is her perception in their greater dominant society or the white community. She's going to have a very difficult time getting those type of votes with the kind of stories and things that are swirling around her. When people perceive you as somebody who slept your way to the top, and I've been listening to a lot of news stuff, and I've been hearing people flat out say it. When people perceive you as having done that, the one group of people who don't like that are going to be women, and in this case, particularly white women. I don't think white women are going to be very receptive to that. So no matter what Joy Reid and Roland Martin are trying to say, I think that she has bigger problems. And then, you know, her ads that she had, the first two advertisements she has, it's almost like she's trying to lose.
Well, she's trying to run. So she's turned into cringe, liberal, purple-haired, white woman.
Right.
And that's what Stacey Abrams tried to do, and it just turned people off. It was just weird as cringe as hell. But go ahead.
Yeah, the ad, the ad that she had, basically, if you look at the imagery, is just LGBTQ flags everywhere. Beyonce playing in the background. You don't want to lose. Donald Trump has 34 felonies, and you can get and you don't want to lose your right to abortion. Vote for Kamala. It was very strange that she did that. And then the thing she had on the gay one she had with on RuPaul's Drag Race was absolutely ridiculous. You know, so I don't know where she's going. Even her campaign bus looks more like a tour bus than a campaign bus.
Right.
It has like rainbow letters of Kamala on a black bus. It's unlike any other tour bus. It looks like she's trying to lose. I know that's maybe that's far-fetched, but it doesn't seem to me like if you were trying to win, you'd come out making those type of moves.
All right, go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I'm on my Obama phone today. Hey, yeah, man, Kamala Harris. I mean, you said you understand why 44,000 black women rallied around Kamala Harris. Well, the first thing I want to say is there's a lot of people who are still searching for proof that this 44,000 black woman call actually happened, right? There are credible media outlets that are saying they can't find any traces of this call happening. You're not seeing like replays of it, recordings of it online. You're not seeing it on YouTube anywhere. So there are many people saying that this never happened, right? Also, people have to understand that Kamala's president or candidacy was only, put in place for one reason: to secure the donations that people have pledged to Joe Biden. So when people see the record of quote unquote record amounts of money she's receiving, that's not because people felt motivated by her. She didn't inspire people to go donate. What happened was that was money that was already coming down the pipeline, and she was the only person who could receive it. The Democrats do not seriously believe Kamala Harris can win. They understand that as far as policies and as far as a politician, Kamala Harris is an empty shell. She is a puppet. I know we use that term a lot, but she is exactly what we mean when we say political puppet. she doesn't choose a side. She doesn't have a hard stance on anything. She kind of goes with the flow of her party, right? Because in California, she was supposed to be tough on crime. Then as a person running for president and vice president, she's this let's bail out people who are committing crimes, let's defund the police, all this stuff. Like, you literally can go back on YouTube and listen to Kamala Harris talk about prosecuting people and being tough on crime. And then fast forward, she's talking about defund the police and, stuff like that. So she's just an empty jacket, and they needed her because the only person who could secure the donations for Biden was his vice president. So everything Kamala is doing is to generate donations to help Democrats win down ballot. It's not really, I don't think they even expect her to win or even compete seriously against Donald Trump for the presidency. She's in her honeymoon phase right now. If you listen to what she says, she's not touching on any policies. She's actually just got a nice little catchy line. Yeah, I'm a prosecutor and Trump's a criminal. That's all they needed. They just threw some fancy, not even fancy, they just threw a nice little catchy line out there. People go on to it, the usual suspects, Black women. And let me tell you this, Dynas, what is the support of a Black woman? What does that even mean? Black women told you Joe Biden was a good candidate. Black women told you Hillary Clinton was a good candidate. Like, Black women tell you whoever the establishment selects is a good candidate. So listen to Black women, you're not going to end up nowhere but disappointed 9 times out of 10 because they're shields for the Democrat Party. They're not thinking independently. They'll tell you, I'm only voting for her for because she's a Black woman. And they pulled their last card, which is the appeal to gender and identity-based politics. Hey, we're getting destroyed. Let's just throw a woman out there because we know at least we'll have Black women on the internet yelling and screaming and hooping and hollering, even though she has no chance of winning.
Hey, Brandon, were you this confident going into the election 2020 as you are now?
Hold on, Dynas.
Jonathan, were you this confident going into the 2020 election as you are now?
Hell no.
So you thought Trump was going to lose in 2020?
I didn't think he was going to lose. I thought it was up in the air for the most part. But
okay,
after the whole, I thought it was up in the air. What threw me off was winning Georgia. Come on now. That was wild. They for sure cheated up in that one. There was some cheating going on with that. But I'm not, I know 2 people that participated in that quote unquote 40,000 Black woman thing. The lie is that it wasn't 40,000 Black women. It wasn't even close to 40,000. But they'll up that number up to make it seem like it was more people than it was. And then these are generally people who have actually worked with the Democrats. It's not like independent, regular Black women.
Okay.
And then a lot of them are Black women. It's just that they show the Black woman on the screen, but the other people that are watching, they could be bots or anything else. It wasn't just really Black women like that. So it's a lie.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I guess, I don't know if you guys saw this, but they, Roland Martin, I think earlier today or last night, tried to replicate that Zoom call with Black men.
That was last week.
That was it didn't work. He's been trying to get that and then try to guilt Black men into saying that we got to support our sisters and this and that, and Black men, we need you, and it's not working, man. Him and Joy Reid are working overtime to guilt us for being on the wrong side of history or anything like that, and it's not working. As far as the last election, I thought Trump was going to win. I had a sneaking feeling Trump was going to win, and it shocked me that he didn't. But there were a lot of people like myself who mailed in ballots for Biden, and that's why he won. I went out of my way to mail in a ballot from overseas, so so I guess I was part of the problem in that one.
Guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the convo, please click on the link again. If you want to call in and add to the convo, click on the link. Yeah, Jonathan, I think Kamala's going to end up like Stacey Abrams did here in Georgia. just she got blown out, and the election was called that night.
I think it's going to be bad, like horrible.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, they're going to blame black people.
Oh,
for them
no.
losing.
No, they're gonna blame black men.
Oh yeah,
They're
for
already
sure.
setting it up
They're already working on that part.
Yeah.
If you don't vote for a black woman in office, then we're part of the problem. And blah blah blah.
We're white adjacent.
Yeah. That's what they.
We're white adjacent.
That's what they push.
Yeah. So, if you don't like Kamala, you're white adjacent. I didn't know that. So
for sure.
Hey, John, you think Trump might win New York?
Hell no, that's
no. I ain't winning New York.
Man,
that's my home state.
Man, the immigrant population alone is gonna save him in New York. But as far as like Michigan, he gonna win. Ohio, he gonna win. Pennsylvania, he gonna win. All the states that he need to win, he's gonna win. Wisconsin, he's gonna win. He might have problems with the Somalis up there, but other than that, he's gonna win. It's not even going to be close. It's really like they're just trying to make it look good. Yeah, like that.
It's gonna be Walter Mondale.
Like that. How they made it seem like it was gonna be so close, and then Reagan went out there and just literally won states that he had no business winning.
I got a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
What happens if she does win, and then why is Donald Trump not wanting to debate?
He didn't. No. He wants to debate. He just wants to make sure that the Democratic Party, this is their actual. Kamala Harris is going to be their actual.
Make it official.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what MSNBC and The View is saying. No, he just wants to make sure that Kamala Harris is going to be their actual candidate.
So is it a civil war if she wins, or what? What's going to happen?
Go ahead. There could be no civil war. She ain't winning.
Yeah, she's not winning.
Okay. Everybody said the same thing about Biden too. So mysteriously, all those ballots came in like after midnight and all this stuff. So
well, like I said, there are people like me who mailed those joints in.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I don't think anybody was out there literally like die hard saying Trump was going to re-win. I don't believe that was the case. But in this case, they're going to have to get so many illegal immigrants to start voting in order to win to pull this office. It's not even possible. It's just bad because even if they let the illegal immigrants vote, they're not in the states that they need to be in to vote.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they vote in California and New York. Illinois.
I mean, go ahead.
Can't they bust them there though? If they needed that, like they could bust them there.
Then
yeah, the only thing Trump needs to worry about.
We need to hear.
The only thing Trump needs to worry about is in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, and he'll pull it out.
Hey, Willa.
Hi. Good
Hello.
evening. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
Well, I don't know, most people that come on this show seem to live probably in like the Southwest, in the like South or Midwest. I just thought I will just add my little a little caveat, just something for the people who are pro-Trump or Republicans. I live in New England. I've lived in New England since 1977. And my friends, a lot of the people I associate with are liberals and independents, most of them white women that I've worked with. And I've had a chance I've known them for years. We worked together like since the 80s, professional white women. And I just wanted to just inject something into just my observation, because these are women I've known for years, and I just had in organizations with them. I've done different. I've been on professional committees with them, and I just had a chance to talk with some of them in the past few days, or since they announced Kamala. And I know their politics. Most of the people in New England, especially like Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, believe it or not, even though this is a Democratic stronghold, most people are independent. Like myself, I'm independent. So I have voted in the past for Republicans, but of course, New England Republicans are different than Republicans in the other rest of the country. They're very different. So I don't recognize like the Republicans in other states because they're really different than the Republicans I know. 'Cause some of them are my friends and associates. But I'll come right back to it. Most of the women I know, I've known for over 20 years, are white, upper middle class to middle class. And I remember I heard there was a show that said white women won't like Kamala. But listen to this. Those white women didn't like Kamala Harris. They don't particularly, not that they didn't like her, but a lot of them prior to her being announced wouldn't vote for her because I talk politics with these people. I've known them for a long time. And quite a few of them, some voted for Obama in the past, and then later on, some voted for Trump. And then now a lot of them were saying they didn't know. I remember before Kamala's announcement or before Biden stepped down, a lot of them said they didn't know where they were going to go because even though they are white, upper middle class, and middle class, and some of them are business owners, they like the policies of Trump. I mean, of let's say the Republican Party. It's not really it's not really Trump to them. It's not really about Trump. I think that's where I keep hearing a lot of the younger Republicans, people in their 40s and younger, where they miss that, where you're missing that. What offends them? Well, let me just say, before then, they weren't feeling offended. They were even considering Trump. But you know what's going to turn them off? And this is the warning I'm giving to so-called leaning Republicans. Be careful what you say. Because believe it or not, the women I'm talking about, at least 20 of them, prior to all of these recordings coming up with J.D. Vance talking about women being certain things about women and then about abortion. Now, these are things that these women, most of them, some of them you consider them feminists, but not all. But when it comes down to women's issue, you have to be careful. Saying things that are derogatory, even though they may not like Kamala Harris's politics, but what will make them vote for her, including me? I did not. I didn't find Kamala like somebody that and I follow politics very closely. I've done like all of my entire life, and I have followed Kamala's politics and her policies pretty closely going back. But what offends me and what may make me vote for her is if people continue to call her a whore or talk about her giving people BJs and who she slept with. It doesn't matter what Kamala Harris, what she did in her private life. That's not my business. If you want to attack her, if people want to attack her on her abilities, on her whatever. But
This is hypocrisy.
but
Yeah.
once people
Hey, guys,
once,
let her finish. Let her finish, please. Don't interrupt.
once
Don't interrupt.
I'm
Yeah,
just
okay.
telling you what I know in my circle of friends. That's all I'm telling you. White women, white upper middle class women. Most of them are people in my circle that I've known since the early 80s. I'm just telling you, some of them are Republicans, most of them are independents, and a few are Democrat. I'm just telling you, Kamala Harris isn't somebody that I would ordinarily vote for. I have voted in the past Republicans. I'm more of a Romney type. When Romney and people like that ran in New England, I voted for them. But like I said, I'm just giving you a little take it or leave it. And once I say this, I'll hang up. And then at the end of the elections, if Kamala Harris wins, you know why? It's because people are attacking her for her sexual, I don't know, history. I don't know if it's true or not. I wasn't there. And also using the DEI, because when you say, oh, she's a DEI, or she's a this, or she's a that, white women, these women, I'm just talking about my group, 20 to 25 women who are mostly white, mostly upper class, married to white men who are business owners. They didn't like Kamala Harris. But you know what they're saying? If the Republicans keep talking and disgracing her as a woman, it will make me vote for her. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for
Can you say
listening.
that?
And mark
Can you
my
say that?
words. Mark my words. It's just a little warning. That's just my little survey. Attack Kamala for her political, whatever. But to talk about her sexual, she's a woman. I'm just telling you how women think. So when you attack her sexual background and you attack her for being a DEI, she's an educate. No matter what you want to say about Kamala, she earned her degrees. She didn't just drop out of high school and was put in those positions. So women, as a woman, I feel when I'm looking at the vile things that people are saying about her on the internet, talking about BJ and all these things, it disgusts me. I'm just trying to tell you. So take it or leave it. But thank you all very much for listening to me. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.
Can I
Well,
respond to?
I want to respond to that
Wait, let me
because
respond first.
Wait,
Alec, come on, man.
let Brandon
all
respond
right, go
first,
ahead.
and then
Go
All
ahead.
right, so this is pure hypocrisy. First of all, New Hampshire's going to go Democrat. They've been Democrats for the past 20 years. They're not going to change. Um, they get to attack Trump on who he allegedly slept with, what he did 25, 45, 55, 60 years ago. Oh, he's a loser. He's a pervert. He's a rapist. Every man running for politics can be attacked on their past sexual history. But then when we talk about truth with Kamala Harris, because Kamala Harris really did used to be an escort in California. She used to sell that pussy, Dinus, for money. Okay? This is recorded fact. All of a sudden, well, if you talk about the truth about her, then we're going to vote ourselves up the river. Listen, that's like you telling me if I tell the truth about you, you're going to kill yourself, right? That doesn't scare me because that just shows me
Hey,
how
Brandon,
ignorant.
if you could do me a favor, because I mean, now I know about the Willie Brown situation, but can you like actually provide some facts about
No,
her?
this is facts, man. This is
Well,
facts,
yeah,
man.
but I don't, I just if you're gonna make a statement like that, we gotta.
All right, let me. Well, okay, I'll give you
If
the
you get
proof.
a
Okay,
chance, if you have
strike
something
that,
to
strike
attach to.
that, strike that for now till I give Dinus proof. Even though I give Dinus proof all the time, but I'm gonna
Right.
give him proof. One day I'm gonna have credibility on this channel. Anyway, so here's the whole thing. I mean, how did she even meet Willie Brown? That's one, right? But here's the thing. These women, they say they want to be equal. They say they want to stand and punch with the men politically. But they want to be. This is typical female thinking, Dinus, and you know that. I get to do whatever to you and say whatever about you, but if you say the same thing about me, now you're some type of misogynist. You hate women, yada 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 yada. Why don't everybody just agree to run a clean campaign then? Because if we just run a clean campaign with no slinging, the Democrats have no chance of winning. The woman literally, she did a campaign speech that, when she rallied, and the only thing she talked about was I was a prosecutor and Trump's a criminal. Like that's it. Like that's some type of policy. I'm gonna retry Trump for things he's already been to court for, and somehow that's gonna prove to you that I'm qualified to be president. No, I say she's fair game. She got her ass up there. She got in the running. She ran with Joe. She was mudslinging like everybody else, and now her entire record is up for criticism. And if women say, if you talk about her as a woman, I'm gonna vote for her, well, go ahead. Y'all just like, why do women, we know they love prostitutes and loose women. I mean, these women celebrating Cardi B and everything else. These women let Cardi B speak to the president on their behalf. So we know where y'all minds is at. That ain't scary. It ain't nothing we don't know. So go ahead and do it, and we just gonna see where the chips fall at the end of the day. But Dinus, I'm telling you this. We're under no obligation to defend or protect them when their decisions lead to their ultimate demise. Because let me tell you, in these liberal cities, Dinus, these women are being victimized by these criminals that these politicians are letting run the streets, okay? So go ahead and threaten us because you just hurting yourself. Because when the criminals are running rampant and the men stop caring because they're getting criminalized for trying to protect, guess what? Pookie and Ray Ray will have their way with you, and we'll be standing by just minding our own business.
All right, go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, I'm echoing everything he's saying. We can't have on one hand, the Star Report and all kind of stuff about people's sexual past. Even if you're old enough, remember Gary Hart on the Monkey Business and all that kind of stuff. And then when her stuff comes up, she all of a sudden she's not fair game and she's a woman and she shouldn't be talked about. That's utterly ridiculous. But I will say this: what you heard there was how certain women, especially in the Northeast, how they think and how they feel, and they're quick to take offense, and will vote based on emotion about how they feel about what's being said. She didn't mention any policy or anything like that. She's basically let us know she would vote based on her feelings about how she feels that Kamala is being treated. And so we do have to look out for that. And I think that's the reason why Trump isn't really mentioning that kind of stuff, because people in glass houses can't throw stones. But, I think that's what's going on there. I think we do need to listen to her and look into the fact that is something that some women would feel. But I don't think it's going to make a dent in any of the places in the states that matter for this election.
Kamala is historically unpopular. She's not going to become popular overnight. They're trying to sell you somebody who America has ultimately rejected over and over again. Dinus, Kamala dropped out of the presidential race before the first primary because nobody likes her. So people are going to say she's awesome now. The Democrats are playing with the emotions of their voters, and these people are falling for a hook, line, and sinker.
Brett, go ahead, Alan. Alan, are you done?
No. I was going to say exactly that, so I don't have anything else to add.
Hey, Brandon, real quick. Jason Black says Kamala Harris has a shot. What are your thoughts on that?
He's just wrong. He's gaslighting. Because, that's what they do. They gaslight for views. Kamala Harris has the shots in the mind of women because that's why they marketed her. That the Democrats are not dumb, Dinus. They knew if we throw a black woman out there, we will get at least the support of the black women. And black women are very vocal. And you will see an uptick in polling for her and stuff like that. But once this little honeymoon phase is over, Dinus, notice, we're no longer talking about immigration. We're no longer talking about the assassination. We're not talking about anything. This has dominated the airways. So the Democrats have run a play. We're going to get the mainstream media to pivot to reintroducing Kamala Harris to everybody. And that's going to give us enough time to collect all these millions of dollars in donations so that we can go and funnel that money down ballot. Kamala Harris will be popular, I would say, for about a month, and then she'll tank because the woman can't string two sentences together. She's a walking slogan. Like, Dinus, listen to this, and this is gonna take 12 seconds. Dinus, Kamala Harris is married to a white person. She's locked up thousands of black people in her career in California. Kamala Harris is a person who pretends to be black, but has a totally Indian experience. Kamala Harris is a person who was in charge of the border, failed utterly. When you just look at the negatives about Kamala Harris, Dinus, there's no way. Who's going to support this lady consistently other than mindless black women who ultimately were going to vote blue no matter what? The people who were going to vote blue no matter who, they are the ones supporting Kamala. They've gotten them re-energized, but the people who were turning against Biden over the border, the wars in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, the white Christians, the evangelicals who are all the way down with Israel, Kamala has no base, Dinus, at all. So who's going to vote for her?
All right, go ahead, T.
Yeah, I think we're underestimating the power of the black women vote. Because you got to understand, unfortunately, black women are more politically active and more louder than black men are. And this is why the Democrat Party does not tailor their policies or expectations anywhere around black men, because we are not as loud, vocal, active, and also say we will produce any consequences for ignoring us. So, the reason why I believe that a lot of black women, the 44,000 black women are on the Zoom call for Kamala Harris is, yes, I do agree with Brandon said. It doesn't matter what policies Kamala has, if she failed or not. What we have to understand is for them, it's historic to them. They want to see a black woman in office. They don't care how bad her policies is. She can have no policies. No policies. They don't care. And you have to understand, women often operate on emotion. So you have to understand this is an emotional thing for them. If we want Kamala Harris to lose, we are going to have to specifically target the men, and
T
we're going
T
to have to get to the men. Talking to the women, we are wasting our time. We're
T.
going to have to speak with the men, because the
Let me
problem
bring
is,
something.
just one more thing. I'm
Bro,
almost done. I
let
promise
us
I'm almost
finish,
done.
Brandon.
I'm almost done. The problem is the black man, in my opinion, has been too silent, and he falls behind women way too much. And my reasoning for this, in my humble opinion, especially in the black community, a lot of black men are just chasing tail. And whatever the woman says, he wants to mold himself into it so he can be that man for tail, while he's just losing and getting in last place everywhere. So
Damn.
this election, in my opinion, is going to be on the logical analysis and thinking patterns of the black man more than the black woman.
So T, let me ask you this, T. Then apply that to Stacey Abrams. What happened to Stacey Abrams in 2021? Because
Well,
black
well,
women
no,
were here.
well, you're right. And you know what? That was a good sign that those brothers stood up. But maybe I'm being anecdotal, because I'm still talking to a lot of black men who are just like, yeah, man, we got to stop this racist Donald Trump. And it's just like, God, man, y'all are still operating off of emotion. Dang, and no wonder why the women don't look up to us, because we're not supposed to be as emotional as our women. We're supposed to be a little bit logical and see things thoroughly, but sadly, a lot of us aren't. So yes, it was good that the black men rose up in the Stacey Abrams situation, but bro, we got to see how we act in this election, bro. And I'm still like, it's still a coin toss.
Can I just bring forth the fact that
Thank you,
Donald Trump only lost by between 40,000 and 70,000 votes, with black people showing up at 90% for Joe Biden? That's why I know, statistically speaking, Kamala Harris has no chance. This is going to come down to the battleground states, and the battleground states overwhelmingly have already decided on Trump. People are not voting to make history right now. People are voting to save their livelihoods right now. They're voting to keep immigrants out the country. They're voting to stop their money from going to Ukraine. There's no COVID to fearmonger people into voting against Donald Trump this time. And I'm telling you,
Or if I can add, no, there's no George Floyd either.
yeah, they're trying to make Sonya into the new George Floyd, but I think
oh, that's
everyone
George Floyd.
unanimously
We know that.
agrees that she was
Uh,
murdered. Even Republicans agree that she was murdered, because hands down, even Candace Owens came out and was like she was murdered, and it's obvious that guy needs the death penalty. But the whole thing, Dynas, is Kamala Harris is not good to win over millions of votes to beat Trump. Donald Trump in
okay,
every election was
you're going
trailing.
to another subject matter. I need you
I'm not,
to.
no, no.
Uh,
Hold on real quick. Because I don't want people to keep reintroducing these dead points that don't make no sense. Donald Trump has been down in the polls in every election, even the one he won. Donald Trump is leading the polls. That's telling everybody he's most likely going to win in a landslide. Trump's never led in the polls in no election.
okay, all right. So here's the deal. And I hate to break this to you, but people vote on both policy and they like you or don't like you. In
Not
the
black
case
people.
in the case of Donald Trump, there's a lot of reasons not to like him. And most black folks did not like Donald Trump until recently when, things.
I mean, your Obama phone's
Hey,
trying.
the ancestors is working today, but black people
Yeah,
did like
but
Donald
excuse
Trump,
me,
but
sir.
black people got
Excuse
fear-mongered over
excuse,
COVID.
excuse me, sir. So Kamala is just not that likable, but for some, she represents a black person simply because they like the fact that she's a black person. And even though many may agree that she's not black, right? She has been going for passing for black, and people accepting her for that. And then when they look at her policies, they go, well,
BLM doesn't even endorse Kamala Harris, Dinus. Let that sink in.
her policies are pretty much the same as Biden's and anybody else's that's in there. And pretty much both candidates are going to have to adhere to certain policies that are not going to change. And there may be a few things that they do that will be unique to them, but for the most part, each group, each Democrat, Republican, they're going to have the same policies towards certain things, especially when it comes to foreign relations. Foreign policy is not going to change, right?
Can you give us one solid policy Kamala could run on?
No, because I don't care about what she's running on or what he's running on, because at the end of the day, I'm concerned about the quality of our community and is it going to change? And as I'm old and remember, what's my first presidency? I remember maybe Jimmy Carter I remember McGovern was running against Nixon. I was a little boy. I just remember.
I know who this is. This is the dude in the wheelchair.
My mother was. It was like a game, like a football game. Like she was cheering. So I remember the McGovern. Right. So since then, remembering that and looking at the quality of what's going on for our people, we have not gone up. Whether it was Republican or
sir, we're not going to sit on the sidelines. We're not going to take your advice by sitting on the sidelines and not holding Democrats accountable. Y'all always come to these conservative panels talking like this. Just make sure you go to the liberal panels, which I never hear y'all on, and do the both sides argument. You're not going to do the both sides argument on conservative panels to pull votes away from Trump. Okay,
I don't
do
care
that
about
on the liberal panels. They only do this on our panels.
All I care about is what is it going to do for my people, my community.
Like this is like a low key Democrat tactic. Both sides, conservative panels, liberal panels, shut up.
No, this guy's name is Wills, and he goes around the panels.
Community. Yes or no? It appears it does, right?
Dinus.
It does.
He doesn't have any strategy. Do you understand how holding someone accountable? Do you know what holding someone accountable means? That means punishing them when they ignore you. That's what that means. So if Trump wins overwhelmingly the black vote, the Democrats get punished. This is why no one takes our community seriously, because we hold nobody accountable. We do like you, which is nothing. That nothingness from the black community, especially from the black man, is why this community is failing. And you're not going to run that game over here.
This guy's name is Wills, and he runs to protect his social security check. He's been on my channel a lot.
No. We're going to hold the Republicans.
Like these black men do this nothing tactic. Right? And you wonder why the women are elevating and being listened to, and we're being ignored. You wonder why? Because black men have no strategy. It's a nothing strategy.
I'm asking you a question, sir, because when it's over,
why do we have to listen for 10 minutes to someone who says ultimately I don't care about either side or who wins? Like, okay, if the guy doesn't care, why is he wasting our time? You don't care. I mean, this conversation is about
I care about what the outcome. So the goal of voting and all this is to make our situation better as 50 million, 40 million people.
How do you do that?
What it's supposed to do, and that's what I care about. So
how do you make it better?
And if I don't feel like voting for either one is going to change that or make it better, right? Then
okay, then
sit on the couch and watch black women get their needs and policies done around them, while the man has to sit there and go through the same BS every time. But Brandon, you can see why the black women are getting elevated, because we got black men like this, and these are do nothing black men. They don't have no accountability, no nothing. They're just do nothing black men.
Remember, I asked you what you were doing in the community in the last time we were in Dynas's room. I asked you what are you doing in the desert of California. You came up with a blank.
It's free money. Bro, just vote to protect his free money. That's it.
I asked you what you were doing in the community.
Just sit on the couch and hold nobody accountable and do the both sides.
You're not qualified to ask me any questions, Wills.
Are you just voting? Is that all you're doing?
You're not qualified to ask nobody.
And you think that's going to that's going to solve our problems? Is just voting for Donald Trump?
Dinus, why is this guy up here if he doesn't even believe in voting? Like, Can we go
I
to somebody
don't
else?
believe in
Like,
To
voting.
distract the panel, bro.
I
He
actually
is
don't.
trying to
I
get black
don't know
people
if I'm
not
going
to
to vote
vote
or not.
for
I'm
the
not sure
Democrats,
whether or
bro.
not I'm going to
That's
vote.
it. Because he will not go on these Democrat panels talking like this. I'm
Right?
telling
I
you.
do. I
They
do. I
they
go to
get
any panel
offended
talk.
when black people support Trump. So they try to do the both sides. Both sides. You don't hear these
hey,
guys calling the Breakfast
hey,
Club, Roland Martin show, any
Voting
other
is
panel.
not going to
But they
get us out
always
of the
come to these
situation
panels
that
talking
we
this
are
nonsense
in.
because they're offended that black people may vote Trump. That's
these,
why.
Voting
hey,
is not going to get us out of our
these
situation
people.
that we are
Okay,
in,
That's
what?
the
United
game
people.
these
We
Negroes
Okay,
got to
play.
do other
can
things.
I
Okay,
understand?
my bad, guys. I had to step away. So what's going on?
Okay, so this guy shot.
So
This
let
guy,
me say.
Shah.
Let me tell you what it is,
Well,
though.
hold
No,
on, hold on.
So
you
Dinus, what
just
I'm
talked
saying
for 20 straight
is
minutes,
that
bro. You
voting
just
is not
talked
going
for
to get
20
us
straight
out of the
minutes.
situation that we're in.
You
Voting
just
alone
talked
is
for
not.
20.
And
Okay,
so my
Dinah,
thing is that if we,
Listen, Shaw, and I have no issue with people who have differing opinions to come on, but I think the majority of men on this panel are going to vote. So I mean, I guess.
I might vote.
Okay, but
Dinah,
Shaw, I think we're conscious enough to know that voting alone isn't going to solve the issues in the community. I think we all are on the same page.
Dinah,
I know that,
Shah is the
Dinus.
man.
And then
So,
Dinah,
you
so,
Shah
know
is
that
the
so,
I'm
Now,
so,
guy.
not
so,
even
everyone
so, hold,
talking
talks
so
to the
about
hold on.
rabid
voting.
90% of Negroes who vote
I
Democrat.
don't
You
know
just
that
talked for
because
20
I
straight
don't
minutes,
hear them
Dinah.
talking about the things we need to be doing.
No,
That's going to
you
be
Yeah,
are.
but hold on,
well,
one mic, Shaw. That's not the topic of tonight's show. I mean,
I get
you're
it. I
more than
get it.
welcome to interject, but that's just not,
Right.
to get
Right.
the community organized and hit the streets and get the young brothers off the street, and
Right.
that's
Right.
just not tonight's topic.
No, I get it. I get it. I just wanted to make my opinion known that
Okay.
either one of them is going to still do the same thing, pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, we don't believe that, sir, but
Oh,
good try, man.
opinion. He said on my channel he only votes to see to secure his Social Security check. So he's gonna always vote Democrat. Like, dude, you've
Thank
already
you. Thank
told
you.
yourself on my channel, bro. I remember talking to you. He's living in California, Apple Valley. He's in a wheelchair. He got paralyzed like
Who,
30 years
me?
ago.
Are
He's
you
been
talking
living
about
off.
me?
Yeah, you're that guy, right? I know who you are, bro. You can't fool me. I know your voice.
Hey, Dinus, he know who I am. No, I'm not him.
Oh,
Okay.
you're
All
not.
right.
Well, you sound
Let
just like
me
him.
pass it to Elvis. Go ahead,
You
Elvis.
sound just like him.
Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Dinus. Look, I just want to appreciate you for allowing people to come on your panel who disagree with you. So I appreciate that you always let me come on. You know, when it comes to these elections, I think her vice president, presidential candidate would be very important. I think she has a couple people who she's looking at, and one of those people is the governor of Minnesota, which is my governor, who is very pro labor union, very progressive, has had a budget surplus in our state for the last 2 years.
Pro
Keith, El-
immigrant.
Keith Ellison is our AG, former congressman. They're doing a lot of great jobs, protecting consumers. And, we got a couple of rebate checks from our surplus that we had in our state. So I think he's a great, great governor. He would probably be a great vice presidential candidate. It's important to have a pro labor VP in places like Michigan and Pennsylvania, which are heavily labor states. But when it comes to Kamala achievements, I know her, but I really didn't know her that much in terms of her accomplishments in her career. And I think it's a little bit of hypocrisy when we have people like Brandon and Teague who usually ask for accountability. They want people to be accountable, but in that same breath, they tend to criticize her for keeping people accountable. Kamala didn't make the laws of California at the time. That law has changed when it comes to marijuana and other petty crimes. She's there to enforce the law, and that's what she did when she was AG. So when people try to criticize her for putting black men in jail, nobody is saying that she unjustly put those men in jail. She was enforcing the law. She took a oath. It was her fiduciary responsibility
Elvis, if I can
to
interject real quick.
prosecute those people.
And
Go
this,
ahead,
Yeah,
Donnie.
you don't have to
hold
let
on,
a California
hold on,
person.
Brandon, chill out. But I think the problem I have with black people in this now, all of a sudden, the '94 crime bill wasn't so bad, and Kamala Harris, her record as AG wasn't so bad, is before Joe Biden was the presidential nominee in 2020, and now we see with Kamala Harris, black people were crying about prison reform, were crying about how, whenever they brought up systematic racism, they brought up the 94 crime bill. Now they're speaking like you. Well, these people were criminals anyway, so they were just doing their job. I just find that hypocritical how much we were, because if Kamala Harris was a white woman, a white Republican, they would be crying when she was AG at in California. They would be crying systematic racism, 400 years, prison to school pipeline, or school to prison pipeline, and all these other slogans. So that's just where I push back and disagree. Go ahead.
Hey,
All right. Thank you, Dinus. Look, I think for somebody like myself who live in a pretty, I would say middle class, neighborhood here in Minnesota, we don't like crime. We want our neighborhoods to be safe. We want people who would prosecute, criminals. But in that same breath, we don't want people who's going to target quote unquote black people or minorities simply because they're black. So we would speak up against it if they're being unfairly, targeted. But if they commit a crime and they're found guilty, definitely they should be, held accountable or held responsible. So I'm not against people who do crimes to do the time. I'm definitely not against that. I've never advocated for it. So if there are
hey,
other black people who are advocating for it, I'm not in that lane. But I think Brandon is itching to say something. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to pass the mic if he wants to respond.
I'm itching so that the truth is known about the situation versus the lies that people keep saying. No one has a problem with Kamala Harris holding people accountable for crimes that they committed. That would be hypocritical of me. The problem people have with Kamala Harris is when Kamala Harris is almost held in contempt of court by the Supreme Court of the United States because she's blocking evidence that exonerates people, so that they won't be able to get out of jail. People have an issue with Kamala Harris when she holds people past their release dates so she could keep them out in the forests of California fighting forest fires as slave labor. People have issues with Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris wouldn't even prosecute the cops who maliciously murdered Oscar Grant, yet talks about defunding the police 10 years later. You see what I'm saying? No one's worried about Kamala Harris prosecuting. We're worried about Kamala Harris being a basically authoritarian, like uh I don't even know what you would describe her as, but this lady committed crimes against people while they were in prison. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, could you imagine you're on death row, you about to get killed, and this lady is blocking evidence that will exonerate you just so her to try to protect her record? Could you imagine her blocking evidence from like hundreds of cases that prove people were innocent just because she wants to keep people locked up? And this is one of the biggest ones. The Supreme Court ordered California to release some people from prison because our prison populations were exploding. Instead of releasing the people from prison, she literally shipped these people to other states to hide them from the federal government and to artificially lower the incarceration numbers of California. And this is what adds insult to injury, Dinus. Now, fast forward 10 years later, this lady is over here uh, supporting legislation that releases thousands of serious offenders. Dinus, like in California, Gavin Newsom just released like thousands of like convicted rapists, murderers, all that. So that's all I'm saying. Like 10 years ago, you was keeping people, you was breaking the federal law to keep people locked up. Now it's all like open up all the jails and let everybody out. She's not consistent. She's a puppet.
That's
She just
that's
goes
not
with
true,
whatever.
Brandon.
That is facts in my
No, the
state.
laws, the laws. Hold on. Give me 10 seconds, please. The laws change, especially when it comes to issue of marijuana. People who are on petty drug offenses who are spending 14, 15 years in jail for drug offense. Those laws were changed, and thereby they went and released some of those people. Trump himself said that he gave a couple people clemency or pardons because of those, draconian drug laws that was on the books, and some of these guys were, victims of those laws. That's why a lot of them came out, because the laws in California and other
You
states
know,
have changed when it
that's
comes to
not true,
marijuana
bro.
and other drugs. That's
You're
true.
not
Murderers and
answering.
rapists are getting out of jail in California. It ain't got nothing to do with
Dinus, you ask for proof all the time. If Brandon can prove some of the things that he's been saying here.
Elvis, if I can interject, Elvis, can you address Brandon's statement when he brought up, I guess the prisoners not being released are being held after the release date, and also the death row comment that Brandon brought up as far as having to get the Supreme Court involved. And also, can you address the truancy when she was locking mothers up for truancy and finding them? Can you want to address that?
Yeah, I'm not going to say all of those, in defense of her. If Brandon can bring the evidence, like you always like to have people put things in the chat, and you can put it on the screen. If he has those evidence and it's clear cut, then I'll condemn her. But until then, even when it comes to truancy, like my little sister, when I was in high school, she got in trouble for it, and my mom was held responsible. I don't know if it's a law or a statute.
So did your
Usually, when
mom
parents,
deserve to go to jail?
hold on, please. If
No,
you
I want
have
to ask
a
you a question. Did your mom deserve
hold
to go
on,
to jail?
Brandon, hold on. I don't know the
Brandon,
laws.
let him finish, Brandon. Let him finish.
Yeah, I don't know the laws when it comes to truancy, but definitely my sister got in trouble. And my mom, because she was a minor, my mom or my parents as a whole, but my mother was the one that was really engaged in our school. And she was held liable because my sister had to go to certain classes and she had to take her, and she was very, really not happy about that. But the reality is, if there's certain laws and statutes that parents are responsible for their kids going to school, and their kids are not going to school, habitually missing classes, being truant, then definitely parents themselves will probably be culpable in that truancy. So that the government holds the adult, to account rather than the minor who isn't yet at the age of majority. So I don't know about what California law is,
So
but
you're
again,
saying your
if
mom
Brandon
was
has the facts, he can put it in the chat.
It
If
is
there's
so funny
documents, we
how
can read
I'm
it.
asking a
law and
And if
order when it comes to the Democrats.
if she was
Hilarious.
going against the law, I'll condemn her. It's that
Mike,
simple.
and T, that's my point. It's like all of a sudden now, it went from, school to prison pipeline, and the system is biased versus black men. But then when Biden and Kamala get elected, now everyone's about law and order now.
Yeah,
It's just as weird.
well,
It's
I want
hypocritical.
Elvis.
what I
I
find
want
weird is that they
I
always
want
claim to be about law and order, but illegal
wait,
immigration is a crime.
I
Why
want
aren't
Elvis
they
to answer.
executing the law?
I want Elvis to answer.
No,
Was your
illegal
mother
immigration.
responsible?
Most
Hold
people
on,
that
Elvis.
you hold on, Brandon.
Elvis.
Most people
Hold
that's in
on,
this
Elvis.
country
That's a
illegally
different
are seeking
topic.
asylum, and you have to place them
Elvis.
first and then review their
Elvis.
cases. If they don't qualify for asylum, you deport them. That's how the law
Elvis.
works. People who are
Was your
seeking
California
asylum are
doesn't do
allowed to
that.
come into the country,
And when she was
and
the
then you
attorney
review their
general,
case.
she wasn't
Elvis?
executing none of
Elvis
Was
those,
just
your
wants
mother?
the
even though
DACA
they were trying to
Diamond.
pick them
deport
people
families.
up, and she wasn't sending them over.
I want to
So
ask
she's
him,
not
was your
about law and
Hold
mother
on,
order.
one mic,
responsible?
guys. One, Jonathan, go ahead, Jonathan. I'll pass it to you, Brandon. Go ahead, Jonathan.
She was not turning people over to ICE, despite federal law that says that she was supposed to turn them over.
You wanted
So
to
she
disband
deliberately
ICE.
disobeyed the law.
Brandon. So, go ahead,
She
Jonathan.
deliberately disobeyed the law. So how can you say she stands up for law and order and she's not obeying all the laws of the land?
She
So
continues to
you're
break the
picking
law.
and choosing. You're picking and choosing when she should break the law, when she shouldn't break the law. That's flawed.
She should obey the law, no matter what it is. I want to ask Elvis. So it was his mother's fault that his sister was ditching school. That's what I want to ask you. Was that the case?
Well, the case against my little sister at the time, my parents work early mornings, and usually she didn't want to, wake up to go to school. And as a parent, you have, I hate to say dominion, but you have responsibility of your minor children. You're supposed to make sure that they go to school. You can't keep your child from not going to school. It's against the law to say my child is not going to go to school, or if your
So
child
then
doesn't go to
arrest
school.
their ass, right?
I don't. That's
Well,
what I'm saying. I
Put
know the
their ass
laws in
in jail,
Minnesota. I don't
right?
know the laws
Arrest
in
arrest
in,
California.
them single women.
In
in
extreme
California,
cases, where the parent is culpable in that child not going to school, perhaps they could be prosecuted. I don't know. I'm sure they have many
The
warnings.
black women who
And
complain about Kamala Harris was talking about how they're single women working. They just it's hard for them to keep track of that.
that
That was the issue. But arrest their ass, right? Who
we're
cares?
not dealing
Put
with.
their
No,
ass in jail, right?
we're not dealing with pure laziness, which was in the case of Elvis. We're dealing with kids who parents send them to school every day, and they ditch school and don't want to show up.
Facts.
Like they listen to me. The government took parents' ability to discipline their kids away 20 years ago. Now the government wants to arrest people because they can't control their kids. They're teenagers, 15, 16, 14, 13. This is what I'm saying, Dinus.
You can
won't let people.
discipline your kids, but you
You
just
won't.
can't do corporal punishment,
Okay, so what
like
do you?
beating on
Okay,
them.
Dinah,
You can take away
Dinah,
their phones, you can
look,
ground
Dinah,
them, you can find other means
Dinah.
to discipline them.
Okay,
It's not
wait,
all
wait.
about
Okay,
beating
so
on
my
your
daughter.
kids, Brandon.
This. My daughter's 15. If I send my daughter out to school and she say, you know what, Dad, F it, I'ma just ditch. She don't go to school. I take her to school. She leave the campus. She ditch school. What do I do to make her go to school, Elvis? Since it's so easy.
Look, I'm not saying it's easy.
I'm
That's what I'm
asking you,
trying to.
Dinah. Make them answer the question.
No, you
Elvis,
you
this is
you
why
can't you
black
can't you
women
can't
didn't
ask me a
support
question
Kamala
that is
Dinah,
Harris.
not
Elvis,
that
make him
simple.
answer
It's
the
a
question.
complicated question.
Make
Take
him
the phone
answer the
away.
question.
Take your
It's a
TV
complicated
away.
question.
No,
Take the
it's
phone
because
away.
you don't
Take
like
the
to
TV away.
acknowledge the context of the shit you be saying. Like
So
exactly.
you can't
you're saying
force
parents
it.
have no responsibility to make their kids to go to school. You
If
that's what
my
you're saying.
15, listen, if my 15-year-old daughter decides to ditch school every day, how do I force her to go to school?
You go and work with your school
Beat,
district.
beat her,
They'll
beat her,
find
Elvis,
plans,
beat her.
and they'll try to find solutions to
Talk,
make the
Okay,
talk
kid
to
go to
your
school.
kid.
You
Find
know
out
that.
what's going
To
on in
be
the
truant,
These
you
what's
have
guys
to
going on
have
in
swear
your
abortion
many
house.
days of
Democrats,
mixed
bro.
school.
Usually, a
So there are
problem
different
going on
steps
in the
that people
house.
go through.
Why the kids
You can
leaving?
go
Dinah,
sit with a
Because you got
guardian
a domestic
counselor and
Guys,
talk
problem.
about plan of actions.
You
one
usually
mic.
have a domestic problem going on in the house, and so you talk to your kid and tell and act and find out what's going on with them. If your choices or your tools that you have is take the phone away, take the TV away. You can't go nowhere. You restrict them from going nowhere. If that doesn't work, then you have to get in with your kid and have develop trust. Those are the things
but
that a parent has to do. Now,
but
the other
Dinah,
thing,
this is what I'm saying, Dinah. These people don't even know what they're talking about. Do you know how many kids don't even got no phone, none of that, and they ditch school anyway? We're dealing with a kid. I had my
it was
nephew before.
hypothetical.
Listen,
Is a failure on you as a parent. If you don't
before my
instill the value of education
before
in your
my
child
nephew,
from an early age, they're not going to
Dinah,
respect school.
Dinah,
So
before
that's
my
on you
So
too
you arrest the
as a
Dinah,
parent,
parent.
Elvis, so you arrest the parent, right?
That's not
Is that what
you're
you're
not
saying?
getting me.
For
It's not like
for
that
a
for
child
every place.
disobeying the
In
parent,
special
you
cases,
arrest the damn parent.
yes,
Because that's
sometimes
what
the parents can
Kamala
be
did.
arrested, but it's not a nationwide
No.
policy to
No,
arrest parents
Brandon made a
once their
point.
kids are truant.
If you send
All
your
right.
daughter to school and she doesn't show up and you try as a parent to
It
make her
has to
go,
be
she don't show
habitual.
up,
It has to
you
be
arrest
something
the
that
damn
the
parent,
state,
right?
the district has
Man,
tried, and you still haven't found
y'all
a
are
solution to
ridiculous,
that
bro.
problem. It's
so
not just the first or
The
second time you put a
solution is
parent in
not throwing
jail.
the
You know
parent in
that.
jail. This is
Elvis.
why black women in her district wasn't rocking with her. Do you not understand that?
right?
This
with
is
my
why the black women in her district wasn't rocking with her.
with
Dude, she
my
was a
It's
senator
not
for the
about
entire
with my
state.
it's about
She won a
Elvis.
senatorial election. What are you talking about?
so
Elvis,
with
are
my
you aware of the disproportion of black people that was arrested for those things and white people weren't?
yeah, of course. Hey, listen. So when my
Hold on,
friend's
no, no,
daughter,
hold
So she
Brandon,
enforced
let
the law on
Elvis.
black people, but she don't enforce the law on white people. You
Yeah,
didn't realize that?
Elvis, can you answer that?
and Asians,
Like I said, if the situation warrants it, I'm sure. Again, I live in
No,
Minnesota.
no, 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 no. There's no such
Hold
thing
on.
as
Don't
warranted.
try to
If you're
put me
going
into
to,
a chokehold.
No, no,
if you
Hold on. Let
enforce
me
the
answer the
law,
question.
enforce the law.
No. Each case is different. If you're saying that this is one case, if you can prove it to me, this
The
is one
law is
case
the
where all the
law.
facts, hold on, where all the facts are the same and the outcome is different, then I would say there's bias. But there are differences in each individual case. If one parent has been told over and over again, if there's been option for mediation between the parent and the kid in the school, and the parents neglected to go to those mediations or put the kid in certain programs that will help them not to be truant, then that parent is culpable. So you have to look at these cases on an individual level. You can't just say black people suffer more from this and white people. So if you
Last
bring
time
a
I
case where
checked,
all the facts are similar and the outcome is different,
Elvis,
I would agree with you.
The law is the law.
If I
Either
get
you
it,
stand for the law or you
hold on
don't.
1 second, Jonathan. And again, this proves my point that I just, me personally, I never want to hear black people complain about school to prison pipeline, how the system is biased towards black people, how the white man has cocaine, the black man had crack and the costs less, but they got more time. I don't want to hear it anymore when it comes to black people. I don't hear shit about racism when it comes to the prison system. I just don't want to hear it because
and Dinah, that's what I'm saying. Black people are letting their desire to vote blue, no matter who played them out of their own position. Because if this stuff is the way it is now, what have we been complaining about for the past 30, 40
that's my
years?
point. And Brandon, that's my point. Like, what's the point of all this? When we talk about systematic racism, we talk about the prison system. Like, why have we been complaining about it so long? If we're just gonna be like, oh well, they deserve to get locked up.
Because we're shirking our responsibilities of building our community, having activities for the youth, having jobs for our youth, having businesses where we can hire our youth. We're not doing none of that because we're so concerned about being into politics and making money and doing whatever we need to do to be a capitalist. And
Shaw,
Yeah.
you're completely off. This is
Thank you, Sha. You made a
But
good point,
if
Sha.
even
You made
child
a
wasn't
very
on the
good point.
truth, it's
It starts
90%
with
of black
us.
people are Democrats. So what are you talking about, bro?
It
Are you
starts
talking
with
about
us.
the 96
Look, I've
of
built
black
a
folks
life
who
for
always
myself where
vote
my
blue no
kids
matter
won't
who
have
and
to
don't
go to
want to
prison.
change anywhere
They'll
else?
be
a
well
lot of
taken
wasted
care of.
time
They
about
live in a decent
immigration,
community.
about
You know, the chances
FBA,
of my kids
about
going to prison will
ADOS.
be very, very slim.
You're
It starts with the
concerned
parents.
about
Build the
being
foundation
ADOS
where your
and
kids won't
immigrant,
go to jail.
If
right?
your kids
And you're
decide they don't
concerned
want
Because
to
about
they
go to
sound
school
like
when
poverty.
they're
some
18, ain't
Republicans
nothing you can do.
I've
on it
instilled
all of
that
a sudden.
into them. They
These are
see
some
my success. They see
Republicans
the
all of
life
a
that we
sudden.
live. They want that. So
Now they're about
they're not
personal
gonna
accountability.
shirk
This is so
school.
funny, man.
Dynast, these people just make stuff up. If your kid is 16 or 15 and they start hanging with the wrong crowd, smoking weed, and decide they don't want to go to school, the country, the administrative state has totally enabled you. They have totally disabled you when it comes to being able to discipline your kids as a parent. So now you
That's not
restrict.
But
true.
now we
You're
live in a
equating beating on your
dysfunction and
kids with discipline. You
racism
can discipline them
and
without doing corporal punishment. Corporal
right.
Okay,
punishment is
how
what's
you do?
banned, not
We live
discipline,
Okay,
in
so
Brandon.
a
how you
You
gonna
understand
discipline them?
that?
dysfunctional
How you
society,
gonna
not
discipline them?
made for your benefit. It's against your benefit as a group of people. You live in that, and you're not changing it as a group. So you're going to complain as an individual about your 15-year-old that is now in that position.
There's thousands of 15-year-olds who do that. That's why I'm saying Kamala Harris locking parents up for their kids not
Is
going
this
to school.
is
And
Shaw a
thousands
Brandon,
both
of parents.
sides
Brandon,
guy?
you think
Is
your
Shaw
daughter is
one of
going to
these
stop
both
going to
sides
school?
are
You think
bad
she's going to
guys?
stop going to school?
Okay,
Probably not,
Is
because
Shaw one of
you
these
raised
we
her
don't hold
right. I would
nobody
guess
accountable
so.
and just sit on the
Dinah,
couch
You
guy?
told her the importance of education. You raised her right, so she's not going to say I don't want to go to
so,
school.
so
That's an
Dinah,
effect of the parent as well.
so Dinah, once they lock the parent up, who takes care of the kid?
the state.
And that's your problem as
Exactly.
a
Yep.
parent. As an
These
individual parent, that's your
policies,
problem.
man, Kamala
Elvis.
Harris listen, Kamala Harris was in the pocket of the prison owners in California for years. Everything she did was to enrich the people who owned the
There
private
you go.
prisons. That's
Blame
why
it
she
on
was
her.
locking people up.
But
You
yet she
don't
was
know about my
elected
state.
senator from the
There you
state.
go. Blame
So
it
You
she
don't
on
know
she
her.
about
she must not have done
she
that
was
bad, Brandon.
elected.
She was elected
She was
senator.
elected.
I think
She was
twice.
elected by Asians. She was elected by Asians, the lowest population of prison. Yes, that's who elected her. But she was locking black people up to feed the prison industrial
Unjustly?
complex in California.
Unjustly?
Job.
Unjustly?
That was her job. That's what she's
Was she
supposed to
locking them up
do.
unjustly? That's what I want to know. Were they innocent
Yes,
and she
she
locked them
was
up?
That's her
because she,
job.
yeah,
That's
because
a
she was.
damn lie. There
Are
you go
you
Why do you want to
lying.
listening?
be Donald Trump's
That's
Dinah,
a
cheerleader
lie.
Dinah,
to support
Dinah.
There
qualified
were
There
there
is
were
a
community?
lie.
police shootings
Dinah,
of unarmed
Dinah,
black men, and she
Dinah.
wouldn't
There
charge
are.
the police
Well,
That
guys,
officer.
was
guys,
her job.
one mic, one mic. Go ahead, Jonathan.
There were unarmed killings of black people in San Francisco, and she wouldn't charge the police. Not one time.
She never
What's
did. And Dinah,
what's up
she
with
was
that,
holding
Elvis?
people.
That's what she's
She was
supposed to
holding
do.
people past their release dates. She was
That's what
holding
she's
people
supposed
past
to
their
do.
release dates to just so she could keep them in jail, so the prisons could collect more money.
Right.
Like
That's what her
this is
job
proven
is.
fact. This is
That's what her
proven.
job is. Just like when she gets in office
Her
or he
job is
gets in
to
office,
hold somebody.
that's going to
Dinah,
be his job to support qualified
Dinah.
community as a
Her
president,
her
right?
job,
To continue the
Dinah.
foreign
Her
policy
job,
plan and all the
Dinah.
other
Her
things
job
that
is
they're
to
going to do
hold people past their
that
release date.
don't benefit us but benefits the corporate America.
So
You're preaching to the choir. Like you're completely just off. We hear you,
Exactly,
Shaw. We
bro.
hear
I
you,
told you
man. We
they
hear you,
on the wrong
Shaw.
panels.
Yeah, Shaw. This is like,
Yeah, he's on
listen,
the wrong
Shaw. You're
panel,
more than
man.
welcome. Yeah, everybody's more than welcome to come on here. But Shaw, you just okay, Shaw. We got you. We got you,
hey,
Shaw.
Sean,
Dinah.
go on the Roland Martin show and talk like this, bro. I think you need to educate them. You're on the wrong panel, man.
Even Roland Martin criticized Kamala Harris over this 10 years ago. So you're telling me if you go to jail and your release date is on March 15th and this girl keep you in jail till January of the following year, that's okay? That's her job? Bro, the lady was in the pocket of the prisons, of the people on the prisons. That's why so many people went to jail when Kamala Harris was attorney general, because
And
she was
try going
gone.
against that. And what do? You will get fired if you try to buck the system and go
It
against it.
doesn't matter. It's wrong. You can say no.
Right.
Like,
It
I'm not
doesn't
going to
matter.
do
It's
that
wrong.
crap.
Right. I agree with you on that.
There are AGs who don't do that
Right.
all over the country, bro. She went above and beyond because she's just greedy. The
And
lady
guess what
wants
Obama
power at
did?
all costs.
He did what he was supposed to do too, and
And
we got
the
nothing from it.
agent, and
So,
the agent,
Brandon, are you saying that California has a tough prison system?
One mic. Let me play. I'm gonna play this video real quick. This is getting interesting. Let me play this real quick. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Let's play this real quick. Here we go.
Probably Huel's best product. I've been drinking Huel's Daily Greens for the past couple months now, like every day, and
never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for sales murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged.
Arrested and charged. That's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truths We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the kind of with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. This isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
Police were keeping files on you, and your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They already had me labeled because I'm in this community as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, you know, things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes.
It happened to you.
Exactly.
It's proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African-American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was gonna understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when my friend Sel Kuka got killed.
More than a year goes by and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, you know, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're gonna figure this out. They're gonna clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. She said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the 2 times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction.
Big cheers.
The people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That 6.5 years that I spent in prison. But instead of me coming home feeling like I was a victim, I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up will be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have made some mistakes. You could have missed some things. For me, it was a big miss. I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor. I'm a musician. I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person that was wrongfully convicted.
All right, Elvis, what are your thoughts on that?
Thank you, Donis. Look, I'm happy that this guy got out. He was, acquitted of the charges. One of the things I wish I would have known, or maybe he would have said, if this was a jury trial or a bench trial, because if it was a jury trial of 12 people, then they too
You
must
can't
have
get no
gone.
life in prison with a damn bench trial. Come on now, Elvis.
Hold on now. So
Use
in
your
fact,
brain, nigga.
that's where I'm getting to. In fact, this was a jury trial, so 12 people must have also thought that the evidence were compelling. We don't know what the evidences were. We don't know what, how everything happened. But certainly he got acquitted. That means that her office got it wrong. Again, remember, she wasn't a prosecutor in this, but she was the attorney general. So people underneath her are the lawyers, who work underneath her.
But her being the attorney general, they sign off on everything. Am I right, Jonathan?
That's what I'm saying. So she, the lawyers underneath her told they had enough to get a conviction, and in fact, they did get a conviction that was overturned, and he was acquitted. So good for him, and definitely her office got this wrong. Simple as that. Nothing more needs to be said about it.
And then when the cops were putting evidence on people, putting drugs on people, she was arresting them and convicting them. What's your point of view on that one?
If you have documentation of those two, we like to see it. Donnie just showed us one, and I have my point. I have my,
Donnie, she don't have it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, and please send it to me.
You can do a whole show about it. How trifling that woman is.
Right now, please send it to me. Go ahead, Brandon. Well, let me pass it to Brandon. I'll pass it to UT. Brandon, you there?
This is what I'm talking about. When you're dealing with disingenuous people who don't want to admit when they're wrong, this woman was blocking evidence. This guy is not the only person. Kamala Harris was trying to make her record as Attorney General look good because she was trying to make herself out to be a tough on crime candidate. As you know, from being close to the Bay Area, crime in the Bay Area has been crazy for decades. So she came in trying to do all this extra judicial, jujitsu and getting people locked up because she already knew she was going to try to run for Senate, right, Dinus? The guy was in prison for 6 years. The evidence to exonerate him was there from the beginning. Kamala Harris blocked the evidence. So imagine sitting in prison. You got evidence that could free you, but the damn elected official or appointed official of she was elected official of the state is blocking you. Could you imagine the machine of a state trying to keep you in jail when you're innocent? And I'm
I
telling you,
imagine
with the
it happens all the
situation,
time. I imagine that happens
okay,
all the time.
But I thought California was weak on crime. I thought California was weak on crime and not so tough
Hey,
on criminals.
Donis,
listen,
No,
remember when I
guys. Let Brandon finish. I'm gonna pass it to you. I'm gonna pass it to you.
this is what I'm telling you. When someone has proven time and time again that they are willing to weaponize the justice system against innocent people, this is why I know Kamala was behind the situation with Donald Trump. She talks about she's going to prosecute Trump. She already prosecuted Trump because everything that the everything that the New York State did against Trump, that was straight out of Kamala Harris's playbook in California. So though she wasn't signing off on anything, she was definitely giving pointers to Alvin Bragg. Hey, you could do this. You could bring him up on that. You could bring him on that. There is a direct connection between you
and Fannie Willis. Go ahead.
and
They
Fannie.
all connected.
Yes, this is Kamala Harris's.
Donnie,
This is
you
Kamala
allowing this on your
Harris's job.
platform?
Lawyers in New York, they didn't
You're
need
allowing
Fannie
this on your
Willis
platform, Brandon. There's
Kamala's
insinuating that there was
This is
collusion
Kamala.
advice.
from the vice president of the United States.
So
There
hold
was
on, one
collusion.
mic. So Elvis, it was proven that Mayor Andrew Dickens, Andre Dickens, and Fannie Willis were taking trips to the White House before they brought charges to Donald Trump. So, I mean, that's kind
Talk to
of
Kamala
Dinus.
Harris for advice.
Oh my
These
gosh.
type of
Donnie, you don't like
Dinus,
conspiracy
Come on.
theories, but you're in the thick of this one. Come on,
This
man.
ain't no conspiracy theory. These types of situations follow Kamala Harris, Dinus. She knows how to weaponize the justice system. Is it any coincidence that when nothing else worked against Trump, they was like, you know what? Let's convict him in a state court. Who was a person who was attorney general of a state who was doing this exact stuff to people by the hundreds? Kamala. Everything from the Democratic Party, Dinus, comes from the top down. They don't have any autonomy in that party. They are told what to do from the White House and they get in lockstep and they do it. So what black people got to do is we got to play stupid, like we can't put two and two together. This is what I'm telling you. That's what authoritarians do. They criminalize you for
Donald Trump is so
pointing out what
corrupt
they're
and so
doing blatantly.
guilty. He didn't need much help at all because he's so wrong and he's done so much wrong. It's evident. Even a blind man can see that.
Hey, Brandon, notice
He's
how
the crook.
Shaw was playing this independent both sides, but notice every time we criticize the Democrats, then he comes back, oh, there's nothing you can do, or he makes a defense. Notice how Shaw has never, not one time, criticized Kamala Harris or even said anything to Elvis' points. And this is why I said these Negroes who get on these panels talking about both sides are bad, they don't look out for us, they're frauds. These are just Democrats in disguise. And the whole game is to distract us from voting for Trump, for holding the Democrats accountable, because they really don't want to see Trump in power. They try to play
Tell
this
us what
independent
Republicans
game
are better
to
at
try
when it
to
comes to
elect, but
black
they
folks.
don't. Shaw has
Tell us
not
what
said a
Republicans are
word
better
to
at when it
Elvis.
comes to black
Not
folks.
one thing has Shaw said to Elvis,
Tell
nor
us
has
that.
Shaw said
I
anything
agree with
to
Shaw. I
criticize
think
of
we're
the
on the same
Democrats.
side. We
Because
agree. I
Shaw
think
is a
we're on the same
Democrat
wavelength.
shield just like
ideologically.
Elvis trying to play pretend. He's acting just like Charlemagne
Tell
the
us how
God who
Republicans
talks like
benefit
he's
black people
independent.
more.
But
Tell
we
us.
all know Charlemagne the God is
Articulate it.
always blew no matter who.
Articulate it, T.
So we
Khalid.
gotta
Tell us
get
how
these,
they're
man.
better.
We gotta call
Tell
these
us.
Hey,
clowns out,
guys,
man.
please don't go ahead, T. Don't interrupt. T, are
No,
you
no,
done?
that's it. And yeah, man. The other thing is when you can see the corruption of that New York case, even Democrats like
Well,
Andrew Cuomo.
T, if I can interject, I mean the case here in Atlanta was so corrupt that it's
Yeah,
pretty much done. It's pretty much thrown out.
yeah, exactly.
So I mean, yeah.
No, they were saying even Democrats like Andrew Cuomo was saying a case like this would not have been brought up if their name wasn't Donald Trump. Everyone could see that these are corrupt cases being launched, and yes, this does sound like a Kamala Harris blueprint where you see someone you want to make up some laws that you never tried against anyone else. I mean, no one is ever going to be charged against these, but you are going to go after your political opponent. No, man, you don't reward these people. And like I said, the reason why I bring it up, Shaw, because we got too many of these black folks in our community that comes to us as independents because they understand that we are kind of sick of both sides. But truly, these people really want us to keep voting Democrat. And I just want the audience to see through people like Shaw and don't fall for the game.
Right. So let me
These people
respond
don't
and
even
say
vote.
this.
These
Let me
people
respond.
don't even vote.
Oh,
Let me respond and
Brandon,
say
let
this.
Shaw respond. I got to pass it to Chrissy. Go ahead, Shaw.
All right. So the case with Trump and Fannie Willis, right? That was thrown out because the etiquette or the ethics of a lawyer and how she's seen. There can be no doubt, any kind of doubt in terms of her credibility in a community. That's why, because what she did with that guy Nathan was not illegal, right? It's just an ethical standard of lawyers that there should be no
It's
type of
called the
behavior.
appearance of impropriety. That's what it is
Right,
in the legal term.
right. But it wasn't illegal. So to say that it was so corrupt, right? That whole situation was so corrupt. And the other thing is why you want to tie.
It was corrupt, or it wouldn't be in the situation that it's in now, Shaw.
Well,
No,
it was
we heard the call, Dinus. He was asking for
it was an
votes.
ethical thing.
But
It wasn't
but
illegal because
again,
corruption is
it had to
illegal.
be corrupt, Shaw.
But
That
No,
it had to
no,
be, okay.
Dinus.
So
Even the
so
it
AG
was an
of Georgia
moral,
refused to
ethical
help Trump because he knew it was illegal
behavior
what he was trying to get him
of
to
an
do.
attorney. Go ahead, Elvis.
yeah, because it was
Yeah, like
corrupt.
Dinus was saying, we heard the tapes where Trump is urging the AG of
What's going on with the case now?
no, like we're saying, the case is still pretty much ongoing. It hasn't been dismissed. It's on hold. You know that, right?
But
Now,
why?
I don't know. It could be because of Fannie Willis and what happened with the guy. There could be other technical issues. But the fact is, we saw it. Those of us who knew what happened.
Issues, because they're corrupt as hell. Let me pass it to
No,
Chrissy. Go
no.
ahead.
They weren't illegal and corrupt.
Go
Corruption
ahead,
means
Chrissy.
illegal.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Hi, everyone. I didn't catch the beginning of the live, but I know the title. You said that you understand why 44,000 Black women rallied for Kamala Harris. Could you just say real quick why, and then I would love to give my commentary.
I just said like the same reason I voted for Obama in 08 because he was a first black man to be president. So I just think a lot of women are just voting for Kamala because the opportunity to be the first black woman to be president.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I mean, her record sucks, so I mean, it can't be anything else.
I think this whole situation is kind of really sad. Even like I'm starting to see a lot on social media where you have they'll have a mainstream commentator like, and there'll be like a black man who's saying, oh, she didn't throw thousands of black men in jail, that's misinformation and all that kind of stuff, and basically trying to push a different narrative. I think this whole thing with Kamala Harris versus Trump is really turned into a gender war that we already have one. It's kind of like reignited or refueled the black gender war that we already have. And I think it's really looking like it's going to be very bad for our interactions with each other as a people. One, because I know kind of like when we're talking about relationships and, there are groups of black women who are saying, they can't find husbands, or they want men to step up and they want man to be a man and all that other kind of stuff. And then I just kind of saw as soon as Kamala was announced as the presumptive nominee, it's kind of like Black women kind of headed to the forefront by themselves without kind of, having any conversation with the other half of our community, which are Black men, and kind of made a decision on their own by themselves. And I think that kind of behavior that we're seeing, it feeds into the kind of like Black women are masculine. It feeds into I don't need a man kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I just think that I would have loved to see us kind of have a conversation and a dialogue. It's kind of already kind of turned into like the whole Black men bashing thing, which I just think again is really unfortunate. And I think it's going to backfire on the community of Black women generally, because, there's kind of like us putting ourselves at the front and then expecting others to follow, which is a very masculine role. So that's just some of my observation. I know that some other folks on here were kind of speaking against what I know to be the truth of her record, which he did very much harm not only Black men but Black people in general. And I just personally, I just think it's very sad when we see Black men basically saying, "Hey, this woman's policies hurt me. This woman's policies hurt us." And then we see the other half of our community, which are the Black women who are not listening to that. That's really, really problematic. And I just think it's going to feed into the mistrust that we already have amongst each other, which is problematic.
Are
And
you a
All right, let
Black?
me pass it to, let me pass it, no, one mic. Let me pass it to Re-Winning first, then I'll let you guys respond. Go ahead, Re-Winning. Unmute yourself.
Can you
Winning.
hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, but from what I'm gathering from the people that I'm talking to, I think it's based on education and, like, I guess you would say socio-economic scenarios. Because the Black women I'm talking to, they ain't rocking with no Kamala. They see her as for what it is. But the people that's double degreed up, yeah, because they banking on student loan debt. Where you got certain women say, I don't care if she's Black or Indian, I'm trying to get the student loans cleared. But even with the student loan debt, a lot of these voters don't realize that your credit score goes automatically down. A lot of people have seen 40% drops, 30% drops. Nothing too big, but still something where people didn't take that into account when it comes to getting this debt jubilee, student loan debt clearance. But from this whole situation here, I've talked to a lot of women. They're not enthusiastic. This 2008 phenomenon is not happening because you're seeing more and more Black people that are more either voting for Bobby Kennedy, not voting, or voting for Trump. Those three scenarios. So, and plus Obama didn't have the social media lens to be scanned, analyzed, and checked and vetted left and right. But more and more people are starting to see for what it is. 2.6 million, and I hate to say it, Dinas, but 2.6 million Black boule women cannot get Kamala the White House.
Right, we went in, and then and again, I keep bringing up Stacey Abrams here in Atlanta back in 2021. She got blown out, and the Black women mobilized, in quotation marks, mobilized. So you're right. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening for Kamala. Go ahead, we win it.
But yeah, when it comes to that situation, the enthusiasm ain't there. Because, I even play certain jokes, go to the store and everything. Biden-Harris ticket, people are not as enthusiastic as it was 2020, where you had everybody just gung-ho, cheerful, gleeful. Nah, people can only be extremely gleeful if they're extremely rich in this economy or they're subsidized by the government. But all the government contractors, the people with degrees, I guess you would say the bourgeoisies, they are very amped up about this. The working class, blue collar, even the investor class, where you got the Don Peebles and also some of his people. And Don Peebles, he's worth $5 billion. He's not very enthusiastic. He's going to negotiate with the Trump administration to figure out what can he be able to do for Black business and Black corporations. But I'm done.
All right, go ahead, T. Khalid.
No, man. And yeah, just to piggyback what Chrissy was saying about the gender war, you have to understand the reason why it's there is the liberal media is constantly attacking us. So black men can't even lay out a criticism of Kamala Harris. Like if we say something about her policy, we are called misogynists. And the reason being is this is used as a shield to shield her. And the same thing would have happened to Hillary Clinton too. But with Kamala Harris, now that she's a black woman, anytime a man criticizes her, if it's a black man, it's a misogynist. If it's like a white man, it's going to be a misogynist and a racist. These are ways to stop people from criticizing her. And yes, that creates a gender war because now that's going to put the men on the fence. Like, wait a minute, I'm not a misogynist. I don't hate women because I criticize men too, but it's just her policies that I disagree with. And when you have a bunch of liberal women online spewing that same garbage, calling all men who criticize Kamala Harris must hate their own mamas, just don't want to see a black woman in power, when these men are literally laying out policy issues with her, just like they would do with any other candidate. That's what create the gender war, and this is all caused by liberals. You got to understand, liberals cannot defend their position, as we can see now. The only way they can defend their stuff is they need censorship, they need name calling, they need cancel culture. This is why the social media platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and before Elon Musk brought Twitter, all liberal owned platforms censor heavily. Even on this platform, there's some stuff we got to say and code and things like that so we won't get censored. That's the only way liberals can maintain the power. So yes, if you want to know what's causing the gender war, I promise you, it's not started by us. It's started by these liberals who go on live TV and denigrate the entire black male community as misogynists for criticizing Kamala Harris on policy.
All right, let me pass it to Mr. Sandman. Go ahead, Mr. Sandman.
Oh, my turn.
After Mr.
Hello?
Sandman. Go ahead, Mr. Sandman.
Hey, yeah, how you doing? Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so during the 2016 presidential campaigns against Hillary Clinton and Trump, Hillary Clinton was obviously the way more how do you say, the way more
experienced politician.
Candidate than Trump. She has a degree from an Ivy League school in law. Trump has a basic bachelor's degree in business, and he's never worked in politics at all his whole entire life. So when Hillary was running for office, they kept talking about glass ceiling this, glass ceiling that, equal pay for women for doing the same stuff. So kind of Trump started this gender war, so to speak, because a candidate who was obviously not as qualified as the female who was Hillary Clinton, whether you believe that she was foul or not, won the election, even though it was obvious that Hillary.
Yeah, but Miss Sandman, the majority of women voted for Trump than Biden. So how's that a gender war? Specifically white women. So how's that a gender war?
Well, I think it's a gender war. I think the media is pushing a gender war. I think the government's pushing a gender war. We have they already got rid of Roe versus Wade. That's another topic that they're going to be fighting over, females versus males. And they're already talking about women not getting paid as much as men for doing the same job. So you got another candidate in Harris, who also has a or a law degree, who has decades of experience in politics, who's going against Trump again, who a lot of people are going to vote for, even though she's more qualified. You can say what you want about Biden. He's another one with a business degree from a prestigious university. Both of the Obamas, both Michelle and Barack, also.
No, Biden had a law degree. Biden have a law degree, not a business degree.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be some kind of law degree.
Law degree. Both the Obamas have law degrees. The last president who didn't have a law degree was George W. Bush, and he was a complete mess. But yeah, I think Trump he has some interesting. The thing about Trump is, how can you be a president and sign into law all kinds of bills when you can't even properly read a legal document if you don't even have any a degree in law? Does he have his lawyers read it for him and then sign?
Yeah, of course. Lawyers make good politicians. That's been proven. Most politicians are lawyers, and most presidents in the United States have been lawyers.
We're in the weed. We're in the weeds with this conversation now. How can you be president?
That has nothing to do with. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
Biden is 91. Listen, man. If y'all gonna vote for Kamala, vote for her. You don't gotta try to. That's the thing with me. When people start trying to do like mental gymnastics to like explain it, no, you're supporting a candidate who's a horrible
Yeah, man,
candidate.
I don't know,
Leave
Mr.
it at that.
Mr. Sam, he be calling him some shit sometimes, man.
Yeah, like you're supporting a candidate who's a horrible candidate. It's not. She's not horrible because we're saying she's horrible. She's horrible because she couldn't even get 1% of the vote in her own Democratic primary election. So the whole thing is this: she was a part of everything Joe Biden did. She lied, covered up for 3 years that he was cognitively in decline. She supported every harebrained idea he came up with. And now she's trying to reintroduce herself while simultaneously saying, hey, look, let's praise Joe Biden for all the good he's done. And then when you say, hey, Kamala, but what are you going to do? What is your identity as a politician? Well, I'm a prosecutor and Trump's a criminal. She's not going to win. She has no substance. And the gender war is caused by the females because they are the ones getting emotional trying to defend a woman whose record is indefensible. That's it. It's like you say you want a man who's resourceful, right? That's in a common song. You say you want a man that's resourceful. Okay, you say you want black men to protect, provide, be responsible. Okay, when we start going about our political business, reading these policies, looking at what's best for our community, stuff like that, you get mad at us. You want us to be resourceful and logical and rational, but then on your command, you want us to be hyper emotional and ignorant. That doesn't work, okay? That's like when a woman says, well,
And
I'm not
Trump,
happy.
on the other
Well,
hand,
girl,
is a liar.
I
He's a
love
liar.
the way they interrupt me. I
He
sat
interrupt.
quietly.
Yeah, but you're
I
changing the
sat
subject and
quietly.
going on
I
into
sat
another subject area.
quietly.
You
I
keep
sat
changing subjects
quietly.
and going on.
I sat quietly through your spiel.
You
You're gonna
convince
never
women by
end.
actions, not by words,
I
Brandon.
sat,
You should know
I
that.
sat,
Women are
I
convinced
sat,
by actions, not by
Yes, you
words.
did,
I
Brandon.
sat,
And most
But
black
I
women are
are you
very,
going to
very, very,
land?
very
listen,
smart and
man.
intelligent, and they can
Listen,
make their
man.
own decisions.
Let Brandon finish. Let Brandon finish.
Listen, man, there's nothing, let me tell you, nothing you could teach me about women, Elvis. That's the first thing. Second of all, these dudes are out here buying women $1 million homes, actions, showing up 100,000 in the bank account, putting 10,000 in wife bank account every couple of months. They're still getting divorced. They're still getting the I'm not happy speech out of nowhere because she been scrolling on Instagram and shit, looking at some fake IG model who's a prostitute, right? So stop with the you convince women by actions. Black men did convince women by actions. Many of us left the Democratic Party long ago and supported Trump. Trump came in, we were booming economically. If that's not enough actions to convince black women, I don't know what is. Dynasties, women want millionaires. They want us to be balling out of control, but they want us to be balling while they're steadily sabotaging our pockets by voting for overtaxation, voting to give our money to illegal criminal alien migrants. Dinus, this woman wants us to pay for illegal criminal alien Mexicans health care. Like,
Okay.
Dinus, she wants us to pay for that. Like, she's an
That's a
open
lie,
border.
Brandon. That's a bloody lie.
Okay.
You
All
know
right.
that.
So
Listen,
That's a
right.
damn lie.
listen,
Trump is a
listen.
liar. Trump is
Okay.
a liar.
She's a, she's a, why do they
Trump is
have to interrupt
also,
me? You guys
excuse
know
me,
how
sir.
to be done
Hey,
fast if
hold on
y'all
one
didn't
second.
interrupt me.
One second,
No, you're
Brandon.
not going to end unless someone is.
Does Biden and Kamala Harris lie?
No, they don't.
So
I haven't heard anyone do a fact check on their speech and
Yeah,
say this
yeah. What
is
do they
how
lie
many
about,
lies. This is how many lies
Brandon and
Kamala
Dinus?
Harris told.
Dinus,
This is how many
let me
lies
answer
that
this.
Biden told.
Dinus, let me
No,
answer
so
this.
when they're doing their,
Dinus, let
at
me
least when
answer
they're
this.
doing
Let
their
him finish his
They
speeches.
point.
lied.
Let Shy finish
They,
first.
no,
Yeah,
it was me. It
let
was
me
my turn to
say
talk.
a few things. Let me say a few things. You've spoke
No,
for a
no,
long
no,
Brandon,
no,
you
time.
no,
had
no, no,
enough
no, no.
time to
No,
speak,
So
we're
bro.
not.
You
We're
you had
Okay,
enough time to
we're
one
not
speak.
person
gonna.
is
hold on.
going
But
to be.
something needs to be cleared up. Brandon, okay, Sean says Kamala Harris and
He
Biden
said
that they lied. So,
Yeah,
they
when they
lied.
do a speech,
Dinus, they lied.
when they
Stop
do
talking,
their
man.
talks. Yeah,
Stop
but I'm
talking.
talking,
You
sir.
You
asked.
you you don't
hold
have the
on.
mic, Brandon. Shy's on the mic.
It's my turn.
Let Brandon respond. Go ahead, Brandon.
You said, what did they lie about? They lied for 3.5 years about Joe Biden not being in cognitive decline. Kamala Harris specifically
That's
said
weak.
Joe is sharper than ever. He gets
Okay,
more
that's one
accomplished
lie.
in an hour. Wait a minute.
That's one
He
lie.
gets more accomplished in an hour. He gets more accomplished in an hour
That's
than most
one
people
lie.
get accomplished in a whole day. Joe Biden, Joe
Hold on,
Biden did
I got one
now.
for you.
Brendan,
Hold on,
Brendan,
one mic, hold
don't
on,
forget to add a
one mic. I got one for you. Joe Biden lied and said that if you get a COVID vaccine, you can't catch COVID. You lied about that.
Okay.
Inflation is transitory.
All right. So
I
let's
can
look at
add
all the
to
lied
lies.
about the
Inflation.
laptop too.
So because
there are
you
a few
stopped
lies.
me, you
Yeah.
interrupted my submission because I'm talking about Donald Trump's character, and he is
It's
unpredictable.
No,
it's
but
He
hold on,
four lies.
is
one
uneducated.
mic. But Shaw, can we
He's
agree that they both have told lies?
not to the no. We can't compare it. No, I'm not going to
Okay,
compare it.
so Shaw, hold on.
Yeah, that's credibility.
One mic.
It's
So,
minute.
Shaw. So when Joe Biden says if you take the vaccine and you can't catch COVID, that's not a
That's
lie.
two
That's not a
lies.
lie. That's not a lie, actually, and I can explain it.
Right. Okay. So that
Oh
can be
God,
argued.
you can
I
explain
can
it.
That
explain
can
it,
be
Dinus.
argued. Right.
But he
He
caught
says
The
COVID.
vaccine that you
when Joe
took.
Biden said that the
Hold on, hold
laptop
on,
was
hold
Joe
on.
grossing
Biden.
The
misinformation, is that
vaccine
a
that
lie?
you took
Donald Trump
was
is
for a specific
unpredictable.
strain.
He's
There are different
unpredictable.
variants after that
Right.
vaccine that can mutate to different variants. So it's not the same COVID as you know it.
Let's look at this person you want to
You're
be
not going to talk
president.
over me.
Let's
I
look at
know
his
that.
character.
But Shaw, can we both agree? We just gave you 3 examples of Biden lying. Do they both lie?
I saw 2 examples.
Okay,
You
here's
gave 4
another one.
examples. You
So,
gave
and
4
then that's
examples.
Here we go.
3.
Okay, but
Right.
okay, so you
That
saw
is
2
3.
examples.
But in one
But
speech,
Shaw, you're not going to talk over me. We gave you 2 examples. Can you admit that they both lied?
no, I'm not going to admit that because Donald Trump would tell 30 lies in his speech that
Shaw,
he makes.
Shaw, is a lie a lie? Yes or no?
A lie is a lie.
Can he
Okay, so
name
can
one
we
of the
But we're
30
admit
not going to
that
lies?
they
compare
both
3
lie?
lies
Can we
to
admit,
30
Shaw? I
in
need
one
Shaw.
day.
Listen. I need you to be an honorable man right now. Okay, a man. Can we admit that they both lie?
We can admit that they both lie.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Now let me continue
Can he
on
name
with his
the lie
character
that Trump
because
told?
when we wait a minute, let me finish this.
Dinus,
So
can he
this is
name the lie that
excuse me,
Trump
sir.
told?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
No,
So
we have to
here's what
name the lies.
we're
Can he
talking
name the
about.
lies?
All right, you want to talk? Go ahead, because I want to finish my
Name
submission.
one. Oh, I would love for you to shut up. Can
Right?
he
No,
name
no, no.
2
I'm not
lies
going to
that
shut up.
Donald Trump
I'm not
told?
going to shut up because I'm making my
Dinus,
submission.
can he name
So
2
now
lies that
my
Donald Trump told?
submission is this: you don't want to
He
hear
said
this, but
Trump
I'm going
told
to tell
30
the
lies.
truth
Can he name 2
about
of them?
Trump. One mic, please. One mic. And it's ridiculous because I got to do this with you every time I talk because you don't want to hear what I got to say because I'm talking about this person you want to be
You
president.
said Trump
That was
lied. I
black,
want to
When you
know the
done
lie.
telling
who
the truth
raped
about
a
Trump, tell
woman
the
and
truth
birthed
about
off a
Biden and
Goodman.
Kamala too.
This is
Don't
a
leave them out.
man
That's all we're
who
saying.
raped
That's
a
all. But Shaw,
woman and birthed off a
Shaw,
Goodman.
one mic. All we're saying is again, I don't know why you kept dancing around it. Trump lied, of course. Biden and Kamala lied. That's all we're saying.
No, you can't compare the
Dinus,
two.
what did Trump lie
But
about?
No,
Can
no,
you
you
tell us
can't
the
you
compare
lie?
the
went
two.
from they
You
didn't
can't compare the
lie
two.
to you can't. But Shaw, you moved the goalposts. You went from they didn't lie to okay, you can't
They
compare the
told
two. So
3
what is
lies. They told 3 lies.
Dinus, can he name one lie
Bro,
Trump
Right.
told? Please,
there's a
They told
woman
3 lies,
a woman's
and
a
Donald Trump
prostitute for a year,
told
then there's
30
another woman that's a prostitute
in
for
one
30
day.
years. Are they both
But
prostitutes?
Donald Trump told 30 lies in one day. Now
can you
this man,
name one of them?
raped a
Shy,
woman
Shy,
and
you don't
birthed
even have
off.
to waste your time, bro. People who know Trump, they know who he is. They
hold
know
on,
the
but
they know his character.
Shaw, go ahead and
Right. So you don't want to hear this because it's the truth. This is what you're talking about. This man spent time with this low-life Italian lawyer that was a drug, not a drug, but a mafia man.
Roy
This
Corn.
dude,
Roy Corn.
Roy, yeah, this dude mentored him. This is why he's, not only is he just a European that came over here to make money, right? His daddy's a European that an immigrant that came over here to make money. Racist, but that's
This
normal
stuff
because
is
at that
irrelevant,
time,
Dinus. You're wasting everybody's time.
excuse me, God damn it,
You're
you're not
wasting
Dinus.
everybody's
You're not
time.
Dinus.
You're
no, but
wasting
Shaw,
All right,
everybody's
you're not
time.
Dinus. You're not
Shaw,
Dinus.
we're
You're not
on the
Dinus.
lie. We're on the lie. Just if you could tell us Trump's lies.
Right. So let me everybody gets to talk a long time, but when I get up to talk about Trump and his character, y'all cut me off.
But Shaw, I think now, Shaw, just be honest and say you're a Democrat. It's okay. It's okay.
I'm not a Democrat.
Okay, well, just be honest. Say you're voting for Kamala or Biden or
I don't
Kamala.
know who I'm voting for. I may
Oh,
not
you
vote
know
at
who you
all.
voting for, Shaw. Stop it.
I
Stop
may
it.
not vote at
Shaw, come on
all.
now.
I'm
Stop
voting for
So,
Kamala. I'm
but
voting
when
for
I
her.
say that,
Thank you,
Dynas,
Shaw.
what I
Just
mean,
be honest, Shaw.
when I
Just be
say
honest.
that, Dynas, I mean that I may not vote at all. So that means I don't know who I'm voting for. I may not vote at all. So I'm going through these specific things about who he is, right? Because this is the person that we want, that we're ignoring that. Because what? He's going to deal with immigration. He's going to build a wall that he didn't even build. And they said, fuck that wall. Excuse my language. And this is the person that you're talking about. It doesn't matter that he has this character and that he's done these things. We just want him because my business as an individual is better. Not my people of 40 million is our situation is getting better. But me, I made some money because I got a stimulus check or I got my taxes and shit. So I like
Do you think
I'm
Kamala
sorry,
Harris
Shaw.
do you think Kamala Harris has a good character, Shaw?
better than him.
But do you think she has a good character?
I think it's better than well,
Like,
my
can
answer
Why you
can
my
can't
you
answer
answer
a
is
yes or
this.
no question?
If I
Damn.
have a choice of the two, I choose her over character.
Shaw, Dynas, can I ask Shaw, can I ask you a question?
I have a question for you too, dear. Are you a feminist?
No, I'm not.
Okay. All right. That was what I wanted to ask you after you
Okay.
made your submission.
Shaw
All right.
shooting on a hip.
So Shaw, can you? We've been waiting for the example, the Trump lie. Can you please provide one so you can educate us?
He's
Or
going to build a
educate
wall.
me?
He's going to build a
He's
border wall.
he said
He's going to
windmill
build a
causes
border
He did
cancer.
wall.
build
That
a
was a
wall.
lie.
No, he didn't do that. And then
He did build a wall.
Yeah,
he was
yes,
supposed to build a wall that was complete, and he said
And Biden is
everywhere
building
that
the
it was
Trump
going to
wall
be,
right now.
and he didn't do it. He didn't complete what he said he was going to do, and he
They
tells
blocked
lies.
him and he
He
built a
tells
wall.
so many lies, so many
Can you please
lies.
name the lies, bro?
Ask me one
Yeah,
lie that he told.
but
He was
Shaw,
supposed to build the
he
wall.
actually started on the wall. It's
Yeah.
not completed yet. I mean, but it's being built.
He stopped that. When he in his term he stopped. He's like, oh, it's okay. We don't need the wall.
Can you put a
I
link in the
made my
chat?
point.
Hold on, one mic. Can you put a link in the chat where you said, okay, we're gonna stop building the wall?
He's
No, I
lying,
can't put a link.
Dynas.
No, I can't
Shaw, do me a favor. Put a link in the chat where Trump said, hey, you know what?
I can't do that, Dynas.
Well, Trump never got.
No, hold on. Shaw, can you put a link in the chat and just say, hey, he said, hey, I'm gonna stop building this wall.
No, he didn't say it like that though. He just
come on, Shaw, dude. Shaw, come on.
He made a statement about that we don't need the wall anymore.
Come on,
we made my point. I made my point.
Did he
Trump
stop
never
building
got
the wall,
approved by
or were they
Congress.
trying to stop funding for the wall?
And
He
he
never
grabbed
got
this woman's
approved by
he grabbed
Congress
this woman's
to fund the
vagina in
wall.
Bergdorf and Goodman, and nobody cares about that. That's very.
But how is that a lie, though? How is that a lie?
His character in
You said
general.
you told
His
30. No, bro.
character
You said
in
you told.
general.
No,
Bro,
Shaw. What, Mike? Shaw, you said Shaw, y'all over the place. You said he told 30 lies. Let's focus on his lies.
In one day.
Okay, so what
Can you
lie?
give an example of one?
Please.
Yeah, let me think about it.
God damn, Shaw. I mean, shit, man.
this
Go
guy
ahead.
just regurgitated
I'm not
MSNBC.
trying to.
We gotta move on. Go. Let me pass it to
the
woman. Let me pass it to woman. Go ahead, woman.
Okay. Can I 10 seconds?
Nah, you can't, Shaw. We passing the mic to woman. Go ahead,
all right.
woman. Go ahead, woman.
Is it me? Is it my turn?
Yeah, are you woman?
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to offer a little bit of a different perspective of why I think that Black people should rally around Trump. I think it's become very obvious over the last couple of years that the president of the United States is not actually running the country. I think it's become pretty obvious that there are a lot of things and people behind the scenes that are actually running this country, making decisions that are affecting our day-to-day lives. And the reason why Biden was taken out, because he was taken out, he didn't really actually, well, my opinion is he didn't actually decide to drop out. He was taken out. The reason he was taken out and Kamala was now put in his place is, number one, she's supposedly Black, which I don't believe. I don't think she's. I don't call her Black, but they're saying she's Black, and she's a woman. And they believe that that's going to rally the country around her. The people that are actually in place that actually make the decisions in this country don't want Trump there because Trump is not going to be controlled. And I think it would be interesting to see if we have a president that's in place who actually cannot be controlled. And I think this time around, it'll be even worse because I think Trump has realized that, wow, it's not just that they don't want me there, it's that they will do anything to not have me there. I think that if the U.S. public elects Trump, puts him in office, and he's not able to be controlled by those that are in power, I think it would be interesting to see what path this country can go down. For those of you who are saying that, Kamala is not so bad and she's a better choice than Trump, et cetera, how is she a better choice than Trump when we have her record? We have her record to look at. And the other gentleman that spoke before, they did a really good job of kind of laying out why she doesn't deserve to be president of the United States and what her record is and what it says about her. All that I've heard about Trump is that supposedly he grabbed someone's vagina and that he was supposedly a rapist. Now, those two things have never been proven against him. The case that he lost in New York most recently, and I'm a New Yorker, so I was following that case. That case, essentially what they were saying was that he attempted to influence the election by paying off Stormy Daniels so that it wouldn't come out what happened between the two of them. He was really charged with a potential to commit a crime, because they're saying that, he didn't actually do anything, but his intention was to what do they call it? His intention was
he broke campaign finance laws. That's the crime.
He did not. You guys,
let woman finish. Go ahead, woman.
I think it's important that people really know the facts. You have to really read what he was charged with, the case. He was charged with trying to skew the election by paying her off so that the people so that the public wouldn't know about what happened between the two of them. Now, he was not charged with doing that with his campaign funds. In fact, he used his personal money to do it. The actual crime was trying to skew the election by paying her off so that the public would not have that view of him. That's what he was charged with. That's what that whole case was about. He did not use his campaign money for that. So it was not a campaign's finance law case, and there was no crime within that arena. He did not. It was his personal money that he was used. The actual crime was supposedly his intention was to skew the election, to influence the election. That's what the actual crime was.
Are you done with me? Because I'm gonna pass it to Alfred.
Yes, I'm done. Thank you so much.
Go ahead, Alfred. Unmute yourself.
Hey, Ninus, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. My thing is with Kamala, even if she is elected president, or actually before she elected president, what do Black America want her to do besides get Trump out the way? Like, that question has not been answered yet. They gave this woman millions of dollars, and she's on record in 2020 talking about she's not going to do anything for Black America. What do they want out of this woman outside of just getting rid of the Republicans and Project 2025?
Really,
What does Black men want from Trump except trying to stick it to the Democrats?
We want a better economy.
$500 billion Platinum plan that he put on the table. That's $500 billion. To lift every voice didn't even have a dollar amount.
We want to slow down immigration, illegal immigration.
In the illegal immigration situation, they're dumping them in Black neighborhoods. Thank you, Jonathan.
We want to get rid of the transgender sex change cult and criminalize all the adults who are participating in children even considering changing their sex before the age of 18. We got a lot of
we trying to get rid of drag queen story time. And My Furry Balls, co-signed by Cory Booker from New Jersey, a fellow Democrat. My Furry Balls is a curriculum read to kids. That's a real thing.
So that's the pressing issues in the Black community.
They're dumping it in the Black community, and
that's the pressing issue, not economic issues, but transgenderism and gay rights.
Matter of fact, hold on.
No. How are they affecting you as a Black man? Are they turning your kids gay?
We could go through stat to stat. Every blue city has been in the shitter.
One mic. Oh, you completely skipped over the illegal immigration part. Alfred, are you done?
And economics.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Chrissy.
No, I was saying that yes, because majority of our children go to public schools, and we already have fractured families, so our children are vulnerable to this, transgender ideology that's being pushed in the public schools. That's one. And there was recently a study that said 65 to 70% of Black people in this country make $37K or less. Those are low income jobs, right? That are low skilled jobs. So once these people are legalized, any company worth its salt is going to look to get the cheapest labor possible. So you will have Black people being pushed out of these jobs. So that affects our people, most definitely. So, I mean, there are economic issues. There is money from cities are being diverted from taking care of the homeless, many are who are Black, and many of our people who are on social services, and being transferred to, migrants who have not contributed to this country in any shape or form at the expense of Black people in Black communities. So that is definitely another major issue that affects Black people considerably.
Ukraine, our taxpayer
And
dollars.
Can I respond, Dennis?
Israel
Can I
is another
respond?
one.
And the work.
I have a list of 14 lies that Donald Trump told from the
Can I respond, Dennis?
Post.
Yeah, can I respond?
Yeah, let me respond real quick.
Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. First of all, maybe, everybody's different. Take Dennis, for example. He lives in Atlanta. So maybe when it comes to gay rights and transgenderism, maybe he's more affected by that because that's like the epicenter for.
Hold on, don't speak for me. I'll say this: I don't have an issue with it. Just leave the children out of it.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm getting to a point.
Leave the children out of it. And then, let me tell you how disgusting and diabolical Joe Biden is. Joe, are you familiar with Title IX?
Go ahead, Donnie. You can educate me on that.
He's not even familiar with Title IX.
Okay, so Title IX, as far as in college for universities to get funding for sports, they had to allocate a certain amount of money for female sports.
Females, okay. Yeah, okay.
Right. So Joe Biden wanted to add LGBT, whatever it is, to Title IX. Now, the T part is a problem. So Joe Biden wants it where if Joanna Man wants to play on a women's basketball team in college or run track, that schools will have to allow it. This is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
This is Joe Biden. And thank God a conservative court blocked it or is being blocked. But this is the kind of stuff that Joe Biden's trying to pass.
Right. And that was my point I was trying to make. And
He's
that's why
destroying our institutions, Dinus.
Hold on, Brandon. Let me make my point real quick. That's why I always say on this platform, all politics is local. Now, if you live in a state where this is
it's a federal platform.
Hold on, 1 second.
Stop saying you're talking out your ass.
Let me finish my point.
Elvis, what does Title IX got to do with local? That's federal. That's
federal.
Right. What are you talking about, Elvis?
That's why I said he doesn't.
Hold on, Diney. Let me make my point. I was coming to make a point, and you brought up Title IX. I wasn't even talking about Title IX.
Elvis, do you see a problem with what Joe Biden was trying to do with Title IX?
Let me make my point, please.
Elvis, I'm asking you.
Answer the question to the host.
Hold on, Elvis. You said educate you. Do you see a problem with what Joe Biden's trying to do with Title IX?
I don't see a problem with it. No, I don't. So let me make my point.
Get his ass out of here.
If you live in a
state, man, these people are sick. Man.
I live in a place here, right? I live in Minnesota.
Oh man,
you gotta let me finish my point, Dennis. You live in Atlanta, for God's sake. That's what I'm trying to say.
What
you see, all right, you won't give me a chance to make my point.
What Mike? Chrissy, you have a daughter?
I do. Yes, I do.
So, Chrissy, Elvis does not have. Say your daughter runs track, she gets a scholarship to the University of Georgia. Elvis has plays basketball. Elvis has no problem with Joanna Man being on a court with your daughter.
Mm-hmm. And then,
this is sick.
Dinus, I have a daughter that plays volleyball. Dinus, I have a daughter who plays volleyball
So Brandon, you have a daughter that plays volleyball. Your daughter gets a scholarship to UCLA to play volleyball. Elvis has no problem with Joanna Man. Elvis has no problem with Joanna Man suiting up against your daughter.
Dinus, in another state.
I still haven't finished my point. You gotta let me finish my point, and then you can pass the mic.
Nah. You try to clean it up.
Dinus,
I'm not trying to clean nothing up. Let me finish my point.
Hold on,
where I live, right? Where I live here in Minnesota. Hold on, Brennan. I still got the floor. Where I live here.
Wait your turn. The question.
No, I was on the floor. Donnie's was just interrupting. I was on the floor.
But Brandon, let Elvis finish his point. But I just want to put it out there. Elvis has people with daughters. Elvis has no problem with a man suiting up against your daughter.
Did you hear about the fractured skull?
But go ahead.
All right, thank you, Donnie. Look, like I said, where I live, transgenderism, gay marriage or other things that you guys talk about. It's not even an issue for me. I mean, I probably see gay people, but I don't know because I don't, they're probably not the quote unquote flamboyant gay who are dressing like women. So it's not something that I even think about in my daily life where I live. But if you live in a place like Atlanta, where they're pretty much surrounding you, people who dress like women, people who are transgender, maybe that's an issue for you. It's not an issue for me. So it's not something that I think about.
Elvis, I don't have a problem. I don't care. If you're an adult, do your thing. Like, I don't care. Again, leave the children out of it. And Title IX is disgusting.
Can I?
Well, you said you were trying to pass it, it didn't pass, so it's not even happening.
Hold on 1 second. Not Title IX itself, but what Joe Biden was trying to do to Title IX is absolutely disgusting.
If I can, Dinus, a girl got her skull fractured by a transgender boy who was allowed to play on a girls' volleyball team in a high school. Dinus, you were literally putting our daughters in danger just so this pervert Joe Biden can. And I don't even blame Joe Biden like that because I know he's not the one thinking of this stuff. Biden is an empty shell, an empty suit, just like Kamala Harris. The radical liberal wing of the government is controlling them, and they're going along with it so that they can retain votes because they don't want these radical liberals to split off. If the radical liberals leave the Democrat Party won't win an election for the next 25, 30 years. So they're just capitulating to their demands. Look at the weirdos they're putting in positions like Sam Brinton or whatever his name is. The guy's making
Rachel Levine.
This guy's freaking stealing people's luggage at the airport. Just a damn degenerate. Dinus. Elvis talks about, I don't care. I don't see this. Elvis is just being a contrarian.
You live in the most liberal state. Have your daughter play on a team with a transgender person? Has she?
Yeah.
Has it affected your life in California, Brandon?
That's how you know about the story.
You guys are talking about things that hasn't even happened to you on a personal level.
But
you're not even affected by it.
Society, Elvis. How you run a society?
You're not affected by it, so it's not even an issue that is widespread. It's not an issue that's widespread.
My daughter plays sports against transgenders, and they're in elementary school.
That is insane.
Dinus.
Yeah.
The bubble.
Yeah. Elementary school.
They're passing out a book about a little boy in a dress.
At all. They don't know how to see content.
Dinus. We quit the Killer Bees because they had a boy on the opposite team. This dude scored 20 goals in a row by himself. Those little girls looked like they was out there standing in mud. They couldn't even keep up with him on the soccer court. We quit the Killer Bees, AYSO soccer, because they were allowing little boys to play on the girls' soccer league. It's all over California. And guess what? It's going to get a lot worse if Joe Biden gets his way. It's unnecessary. What are you trying to do?
So recreational sports is something that affects you personally.
What, Mike? Woman.
I'm not
We went. Hold on, I'm gonna pass to you at the woman. Woman, you wanted to ask something, woman?
Yes. Going back to when you asked the question to one of the speakers about how they would feel if their daughter got a scholarship and had to play against a transgender in a college team, but the real question is that little girl wouldn't even have gotten that scholarship because, as someone said, in high school, the females are playing against the males. And so what happens is that the men are going to perform much better. They win all the scholarships. We have less girls getting opportunities to play sports in college, and all of the privileges and all of the success that brings. So that's really where the problem lies. And beyond that, at the crux of everything is that the Democratic Party and the people that are controlling them, the real agenda there is to completely destroy any kind of foundation of family structure within our communities. And for the Black community, it's even more devastating because we're starting so far behind. Unfortunately, a lot of us didn't grow up in complete families with mom and dad there. A lot of Black women, unfortunately, right now are single mothers. And then all of these things that are being put in place further destroy any sense or semblance of family that can exist within our community. And that's where it does affect us, right? Even if you're not in a very liberal state, you still are affected by these things because what they're putting in place. Okay, so for example, I think his name is Shah. Elvis was talking about parents being responsible for their kids, and about Kamala Harris was locking up these black men that had actually committed crimes. And, supposedly it's not innocent men she's locking up. The men that she was locking up, these black men had already committed these crimes, so they deserve to be there. Okay, that's a fair argument. But what the Democratic Party wants to do is ensure that there's a steady stream of black men committing crimes, because there's no family structure there. There's no cushioning there to keep them out of that type of lifestyle. And all of these laws, all of these policies that they want to put in place ensure that. They're ensuring that there's a steady stream of black men who are out here not being raised by fathers, being raised by mothers that don't really have, and I'm not saying all black women, right? But when you're hustling, when you're working 2 and 3 jobs to kind of make ends meet, you're not there to really make sure your kid goes to school every day, right? They're going to be truant, right? Then they have their initial encounters with, police or with whatever. And next thing you know, they're on that path to prison. So it does affect us, even if you're in.
So Democrats are telling black men to leave their household, not to be parents, to be criminals. That's what you're saying?
They're not telling black men, but the systems that the Democratic Party wants to put in place will ensure that happens. For example, the Democratic Party.
It's happening right now without the system in place. It's been happening for years, for generations in this country.
The system has been in place for generations in this country, right? But now they're ramping things up. The system has been in place. They're ramping things up at this point.
I grew up with a mother and a father in the household. I think I did pretty well.
Yeah, so
it's about personal responsibility. It's about the quality of a parent. It's about the parents.
That's what
speaking from the immigrant perspective.
So no, she made her point.
You're not an immigrant. Your parents may be.
Elvis made a point.
They're not
that
black.
It's already been happening.
I know. I'm not black American.
Hold on 1 second, Shot. Hold on 1 second, Shot. How do you feel about Title IX? What Joe Biden's trying to do with Title IX?
I don't like Title IX. I don't like it. That's how I feel about it. I don't like it.
Title IX altogether, or what Joe Biden was trying to do to it? I support Title IX. I'm talking about what Joe Biden is trying to, his addendum to it.
Yeah, his addendum to it. I don't like it.
Yet you voting for it.
I'm not voting for it.
Sure you're not.
So here's one lie that Donald Trump tells. Hopefully you guys can hear me.
Go ahead.
Sha, I put a link in the chat, and Donnie, if you can play that video, there's like 100 and some more thousand, lies that Donald Trump told. If you want to be fair and play the other side of the argument, I put a link in there. You can.
Okay,
you can play it.
Go ahead, Shaw. Go ahead, Shaw. Shaw, go ahead. Hey, well, Frenchie, I don't know what an MAP is. What's an MAP?
It's minor attracted persons. It's pedophiles who are trying to.
No, we can't hear you.
Okay. The Rainbow Coalition, and they want to add a P. So they identify as not. They don't like the term pedophile because they feel it's derogatory. They want to be called minor attracted person and be classified as a sexual orientation. So that is.
They're actively trying to do this.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, they're already doing it in California.
Oh, that's right, Brandon. That's right, Brandon. Because I think they made it now a misdemeanor or something. They were.
They're not even charging pedophiles in California right now.
What are your thoughts on that, Brandon? Elvis.
I don't know about that.
Let me pull that up. You're right. Hold on.
I don't know about it, but anything that is illegal people should be prosecuted for it. If you have sex with an underage, person, a minor, you should be prosecuted for it.
And why this is a big lie that he told. He said he was asked in an interview, if elected, you said you would order the Defense Department to use special forces to inflict maximum damage on drug cartels. But Trump responded, I did not say that. No, people said that I said that. He repeated, I did not say that. Then the fact is that Trump said that in a video released in January, which remains on his website, he said that if elected president again, I will order the Department of Defense to make appropriate use of the special forces, cyber warfare, and other overt and covert actions to inflict maximum damage on cartel leadership, infrastructure, and operations. That's what your future president told a lie, and that's a big lie. It's a dangerous lie too.
Look, I posted a whole link with a bunch of lies in it. If Donnie's want to be fair, he can play it, but he's probably not going to play it.
Not going north. They know that. So why even ask me one lie when they know that he lies?
No, you're lying
No, no,
right
no, no.
now.
A lot of
I
digging,
never
Trump,
said
to
that
find
Trump
out.
never
Man,
lied. I just said they both lied.
You
Dynast, they're literally trying to take stuff where the
No,
news
but you guys were
purposely.
insinuating that he never
They're
told a lie
literally
because Shai couldn't
no,
come up with a couple of
Dynast,
No, I
lies
didn't. I
he
on
didn't
the
was
say
fly.
that.
crazy.
I just said they
Everybody
Dynast,
lied. I
lies.
said y'all look
Dynast,
alike.
Linus,
they're
I
taking stuff
lie.
that
You
they're
lie.
taking stuff
Brandon
that Trump.
lies.
Listen,
Everybody
man.
lies,
They're
right?
taking stuff that Donald Trump said and the news purposely misrepresented it to make it seem like he was lying. Like when he said the bloodbath comment and they all was like, oh, he
No,
said it's
he
going to be a
did lie.
bloodbath. People going to be
So that's
dying.
an example of him lying and then
No,
getting caught
you're
in a lie
listen, you're
He
because
said
it's
the
trying
on
to
video.
automotive
all right, man.
industry. He
It is
said it
on
was
a
going to be a
Guys,
video.
guys,
bloodbath for
You
the
can't
automotive industry,
deny
and
it.
that was right
Is
when
it
the
a lie
Trump
that
prices of
ingesting
food
bleach kills the
hit
coronavirus?
5,200
Was it a lie
workers.
that
you
if you
know
ingest
Trump is
bleach, it will
joking.
kill the
Please stop.
coronavirus?
Man,
Please
you didn't
stop.
even say
That's
that
That's
already
shit.
another
been
lie.
debunked. That's already been debunked.
He said
That,
it.
that, that,
You didn't
He
even
said
When?
say
if
that
you
shit.
take a
We
little
don't
bit
even
of
I
bleach,
have the
saw him
clip.
say
it's
that.
going to kill the
They
COVID, and that was a
debunked
lie
that.
Right.
and very
Then
They
dangerous too.
No,
debunked
send
I
us
that.
the
saw
clip,
him say
sir.
that.
Then
I
please send
saw
us
him
the
say it.
clip.
Find the clip, man.
yeah,
Dinus, can I
No,
ask
you
you
didn't
really
see him
put the
quick?
say
clip,
it.
put the clip in the
Dynast,
put
it's
Please
the
put the
already
clip
been
if
You
that
didn't
debunked.
see
happens,
him
man.
say that at the press conference.
Dynast,
Actually
it's
saw him
already
say
been
that bullshit.
debunked. That's already been debunked.
No, it's
And they
not
just bringing up
debunked. He said it.
You
yes,
I
it
was
said
there
is.
drink
when he said it.
bleach.
You was
I
there.
was there. I
Where
was
were you?
watching him say
He was
it
there watching
live
that
Go
at
on
shit.
the press
TV. Talk about
conference.
I was there.
Dinus,
I
can
was
I say
watching
something
him
really
say
quick
it,
though,
and
because
you
this is
gonna
real
try to
yeah, yeah,
serious.
deny
yeah. Hey,
that?
go ahead. We winning. Go ahead.
Now, here is a situation that I can read out. Here are a few cases where DNA evidence or other expulsory information suggested innocence, but Kamala Harris, during her tenure as either San Francisco District Attorney or California Attorney General, faced criticisms for her handling. Kevin Cooper, he was convicted of multiple murders in 1983. Cooper had long maintained his innocence despite significant evidence suggesting he was framed, including DNA evidence that could have potentially exonerated him. Harris opposed new DNA testing when she was the Attorney General. After public pressure and high-profile article by the New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof, Harris reversed her position. The number 2 guy, George Gage, he was convicted of sexual assault involving the innocence that could have proven his innocence, including medical records and statements from an accuser's mother. So the mother literally stated that Harris' office opposed a retrial based on her procedures. Technically, okay, so a procedural technicality, Gage remains in prison still.
But that was her. That wasn't even her necessarily. That was her office.
This is still incompetence. This is still incompetence because they're still saying district attorney and the attorney general.
Right.
Mind you,
Include her, but her lawyers
she's
were the
both
ones
still in
doing it.
charge. She's
Right, but
both still
her
charged.
lawyers were doing it. She's culpable because she is at the head of the team.
Jamal
But it was her
Truelove.
lawyers that did it.
So
Jamal
why are you even
Truelove.
talking?
Jamal
Okay. So
Truelove.
well, hold on.
Jamal
So
Truelove, a
then,
former
Shaw, we should
reality
be able.
star, wrongfully
We win.
convicted of
Hold on. We
murder.
win. One second. We win. So
Truelove's
Shaw,
conviction was
we win.
based
Hold
off
on.
of
We win. Hold
testimony.
on. We win. Hold on. We win.
All
Hold
right.
on. So Shaw, we should be able to use that same logic towards Donald Trump and his discrimination cases with his housing. Right.
And y'all blame his father.
Well,
Yes. And that was his father. And that was his father, mind you.
Wait. If he was not, if he was not physically involved himself with it, if it was other people who were doing it for him and he wasn't doing it, we could use that argument. But I believe he was involved directly. And he lied about losing the vote. He lied about the vote being rigged.
But this is serious. This is more serious than all this.
Dinus, I posted a link of Trump and the bleach comment. You can play it. It's only like a 50-second
people are
clip.
dangerous. Y'all
You
people
can
are
play that,
dangerous.
Dinus.
Can I read? Can I finish reading?
Yeah, go ahead. We want to go ahead and finish.
Because this is real people getting caught up under this shit. Jamal Truelove, a former reality star, wrongfully convicted of murder. Truelove's conviction was based on the testimony of a paid witness.
We saw that. Dinus played the video, so it's nothing new. We saw the video. He played it.
Now, I got more names. I got over 152 people. Mind you, she has thousands of cases. Her office was the most incompetent.
Right. Her office.
Like Fannie Willis, probably worse.
Like I said, she's in charge of this. But I'm done.
Let me play this video real quick.
Look at you, the big winner. Nah, not you. You use QuickBooks to auto-track business income and expenses, saving you 30 hours each month. Intuit QuickBooks. Now get 70% off for 3 months.
Just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right. And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or just a cleaning? Because you see it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors. It sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole
I never heard
who the rewires are.
One mic. Well, I never heard bleach.
Never
Disinfectant
told
is just
anybody
as
to inject
bad.
anything.
I never heard bleach.
Disinfectant is just as bad.
He never told anybody to inject anything.
Listen. I never heard bleach. I thought the argument was he said use bleach.
Dinas, you really shouldn't do that. Really,
I'm not doing that. You just said
but
was
if he says I didn't hear Pine Sol, but I heard Ajax. I mean, what's the difference?
Okay, where did he tell you to inject anything into your body?
He said injecting with disinfectant. What is a disinfectant?
Donald Trump tell the American people to inject something
Look at the
into their
title on the
body?
video. This is from the Independent.
Yeah. So hold on.
And then he came back and had a subsequent press conference.
It's not about the source. What he said.
Hold on. The title on the video says it's exactly a year since Trump suggested using bleach to treat COVID. I never heard bleach.
Disinfectant.
Okay, so everybody's been wrong this whole time because y'all argument was bleach, but he never said bleach.
Give me 10 seconds. I will show you the follow-up press conference that he had. We all saw this during COVID, man. Dinah, stop being disingenuous. We saw these things. Unless you didn't see it.
I'm not being disingenuous.
Can I just say something?
We saw this press conference where Trump was trying to be a doctor.
I want to hear the lady speak. Go ahead.
If I can just say something, I don't think that the COVID argument is one that any Democrat wants to have because we see how terribly they failed on that. We see all the lies that were told about the vaccine, all of the gaslighting, how many people lost their jobs, were threatened. So I think that COVID is a discussion that the Democrats should want to stay away from.
What about
they were using that since 2021. See, they've been using that argument for so long.
What about the video you just seen?
No, but what, Mike? But again, Joe Biden said if you get the vaccine, you won't catch COVID. He said that.
Okay,
what about the video
my
that
patience
you
is
just
running
saw?
thin when he issued mandates.
Dinus,
with the dictator
UV light.
Dinus, where did Donald Trump tell anybody to inject anything into their body?
Let me play it one more time. Let me play it one more time.
One more time. One more again.
We can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning. As you see, it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me.
Oh my God.
1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see, it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors. That too sounds interesting. Through the skin, just very powerful light. And I think you said that hasn't been checked, but you're going to test it. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right. And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? Because you see, it gets on the lungs and it does a tremendous number in the lungs. So it'd be interesting to check that. So that you're going to have to use medical doctors with. But it sounds interesting to me. So we'll see. But the whole
wow, I don't believe you guys played that. That
Bro,
really. It's true.
The funniest part about it is how we get back to COVID, but when we mention Kamala's policies, we just go and chalk
No,
that up as a no
we're
biggie.
talking about that video right now.
It's
This is
simply
some
obviously
incompetent. This
Because
is
we
some
can bring up
ignorance
when Joe
beyond
Biden said my
belief.
patient is running thin when it comes to COVID, when he issued
It's some
mandates.
incompetence and unbelievable ignorance and light in the body. I never even heard
Right.
that.
And the fool
okay.
also
Wait
said
a
COVID
minute.
was a hoax.
Now
He
y'all
said
change
COVID
up
was
the
a
argument.
hoax,
That
and that
wasn't
was
the
a lie. It
argument.
was very
That
much
wasn't the
real.
argument. Y'all
Well,
said
Mike.
he
So
said
you
Triple
guys do
H.
understand that, like when he said light in the body, and he was looking at the doctor, that he was probably reading a report that was given to him.
No, he was giving suggestions and he was asking if there's something they can do about it.
These were not his direct suggestions.
I
Oh
just
yeah,
sent you
that
another
came from
clip where he
college.
said he
Yeah,
was
but the
suggesting
woman
it
sitting in the
to the
chair,
doctors in the
the
Oval
woman
Office.
sit
It's a
right,
2-minute clip where he said he was suggesting it to the doctors.
and the
Come on,
woman that's
Diners.
sitting in the chair
Y'all supposed
she
to give us
talked
the
about it
clip.
later. She
So
said
that
Yeah,
way,
that
I just
if
sent him that
that's the
clip
case,
too.
she
2
said
minutes.
no, we
He said
can't
he
do
was
that.
suggesting it to see what they can do about it.
Okay,
He's
No,
trying to blame it to
no, he
doctors.
said that.
I'm gonna play, but let me pass it to Mr. J8531. Go ahead, Mr. J8531.
Yeah, he talking about some damn COVID. That's not even important right now. All you got to do is look at how life was when Donald Trump was in office compared to how life has been the last 4
We
years.
weren't talking about
And you
COVID.
just
We're talking about that video. Don't try to stray away from that
that's still
video.
COVID. We
This is
still in
still
the
No,
throes
COVID.
of
yeah, but
COVID.
still, that's
but it's
not
the
Bro,
video.
we
important.
had
Like,
over 1 million people
Talk
die
about
from
that
COVID during
video.
Trump. Have we had 1 million people die in the last 4 years
Talk
from any kind
about
of
that
virus?
video.
Come
how
on,
they
man.
even been
I
keeping
He's
a
don't know.
record of
lying.
that?
Biden has more deaths.
Dynasty's lying. 1 million people did not die under Trump. 1 million people did not die
It
under
was
Trump.
250,000.
400,000.
And then
400,000.
the COVID
And
came
more
in
We
people
Trump
go if
died
we
last
go
under
year.
Biden
And
than
most
Trump.
of them were black.
January to
One mic
November,
is Mr.
250,000.
J531's time. Go ahead,
Hmm.
Mr. J.
Yeah, then COVID came in Trump last year. So how can that even equate to talk about how many people died from the COVID crap? But anyways, like I was saying, all you gotta do is look at how life was when Donald Trump got elected to when it end to how it's been the last 4 years. And you gonna sit here and tell me that you gonna vote for another 4 years of this bull crap that we going through right now? That's crazy. Like
And
you don't even
COVID
gotta
was
be
better.
worried about the policies.
Glutton
Just
for
look at
pain,
how
huh,
life
brother?
been.
Living
Glutton
in
for pain,
COVID
huh,
was
brother?
better.
Glutton for pain, huh?
Living in COVID was better. You
And
kidding
and
me?
then and then and then
COVID
What is
wasn't
you
4
talking about
years,
living in
brother.
COVID
COVID
is
wasn't
hold
better?
even
on,
4 years.
Yeah, because you got free stimulus
It wasn't
checks.
even 4.
You got free unemployment that they boosted your
Man, we ain't even
unemployment.
talking about no stimulus
Elvis,
checks,
We
bro.
ain't talking about no
That
stimulus
was
checks.
very
Donald
ignorant
Trump
to talk
came.
about stimulus checks and unemployment checks.
That's
That's
what
the
they like
argument
though.
that y'all think y'all can
one
win
mic,
on.
one mic. So actually, Elvis, it was 350,000 who passed away, not 1 million. But go ahead.
And
Can,
mostly
Overflowing the
black
numbers,
people.
man. Overflowing
Dynas,
the
can I
Black
get a
numbers.
chance
people
to
died.
talk?
Well, actually, there's two other people I want to get to first. Mr. J, are you finished?
Yeah, let Jay finish.
Mr. J, are you finished? Mr. J, you got to meet yourself. Mr. J, okay, go ahead, Kala.
Yeah, I just want to say, the whole thing about this is, like I said, if you like Kamala, you like Kamala. If you like Trump, you like Trump. But what I'm saying is, you got people out here now trying to beat us over the head. If you say, you know something, I'm not feeling Kamala, they're gonna come at you, attack your blackness, attack all this stuff. Like, where the hell all this come from? First of all, black people, I don't friggin' benefit from anything Biden or Kamala's talking about. When I really came to the conclusion that black people really don't need any of these political parties, right? You vote on your values, right? If you like men playing in girls' sports and whatnot, then you go for Kamala. If you like open borders, you go for Kamala. If you like the way they withdraw from Afghanistan, left or how many billions of dollars worth of equipment in Afghanistan, and left Americans on the ground there and everything, hey, you vote for Kamala and Biden. You say they did a good job. It's simple as that. If you like energy independence and stuff like that, get low gas prices, you go for Trump. Go on policy, go on policy that affects you and that's good for the country. It's not about there's going to be some collect. That's another thing. People can say, oh, there's somebody's going to do something for the black people. Like the Democrats. The Democrats have never done anything for the black people. Never.
So
You
you're
know,
voting for Trump?
I'm not saying disclosing what I'm voting for. It'll be the last minute. Who knows? If Kamala comes
Shit,
up with a
I'm
policy or
voting for
whatever,
Trump.
if she comes up with a policy at the last minute that affects my business, I'm in the healthcare business, right? then you look at that too, man. But I'm looking at my own interests. I'm not caring about what somebody says or whatever like that.
What about your group's interests? Your
Huh?
own interests over your group's interests?
No, there's no group. There's no group.
Oh, okay.
I just only want to be a group when it's time.
How can you help a group?
Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. Let Kyle finish. But
My bad.
When
go
it's
ahead, Kyle.
time to vote, every 4 years, suddenly we become a group. Any other time, when you're an individual on your own struggling, you can't get people to contribute. You can't get people to work together. You can't do that. Suddenly, when it comes down to crowding you to the polls, suddenly we're a group. Get the hell out of here with that shit. You know?
Now the thing is, Kala, is
Well,
how can you help your
hold on,
community if you're dealing with?
One mic. Wisdom never. Kyle, are you done?
Yeah.
Wisdom never sleeps. Go ahead.
Damn.
Well, good evening. So hopefully I can get through a conversation that there's some men on here that can be quiet long enough to let someone else talk and not the males that just jump in and talk. So do that courtesy, please. Thank you. Because what I'm going to say, everybody want to jump in. First of all, one reason why Kamala is the presumptive nominee is they pretty much had to go with her after they moved Biden because they had so much things planned in the work, regardless of how to stay in power to get the election. And once Joe Biden publicly showed that he was no longer available to fool the people, then they said, you know what, the next best thing that even if we pull every string like we did in 2020, it would be all right because they'll say Kamala is just going forward. And I say that because most people have forgotten that right after the lawsuit that the people that run the machines took the Fox for misinformation, Fox News, which they said was the right-wing news, settled. They didn't fight it, but right after that, they start going the opposite direction with their news. Then later on, all this stuff about the machine voting and stuff and ballot boxing, all this started coming to fruition and being known that it was really true. But they had to get Fox News to say, well, you know what, we was wrong in order for 4 years later if they want to do it again. The other thing is this. If you truly an independent, I hear this a lot about I'm an independent. True, we had a test in the 8th grade. And the test was they give a test to the students and they can find out how the family actually voted based on the students' responses to the question. I was the only true independent. It was 10 questions. I read 5 one, 5 the other. Everybody else either 7-3, 6-4, whatever. And the thing about an independent is they look at policy for their people or at least their business or whatever their morals are. And so when you hear people say, I'm an independent, but they can never talk policy that was done on one side and policy on the other, they only always holding up Democrats. Most of the time I've seen black independents. So I don't have to like either person, but if the policy is a policy that goes in favor of my people, my business, my Carla said is in the healthcare, whatever the case may be, that's a true independent. I've seen them that say they're independent, that's on radio and stuff, but they really talk liberal talk. They never says, well, you know what? The Republican Party did do this policy that benefits this sector in the Trump administration, Bush administration, whatever. Well, the Democrat Party did do this particular policy that also benefited our sector. This is why we're the only culture that votes 90% one way most of the time versus everybody else is mostly 50-50 in their voting because they're looking at what goes collectively from both sides that comes back to their people collectively. What's sad when I hear a person respond to Brandon and say, well, or they say, I live in a place that we don't see that and you don't get it, that so that doesn't bother. That's a collective for people. As long as you individualize everything like that, that's a problem. That's not being a true adult. Adult is not your calendar age. Adult is not if you can make children. Adult is not how much money you make. Adult is a person who can sit down and look at things from a logical standpoint and weigh it out for the benefit not of only their household, but every household that looks like them. So when we're voting, and we never seem to be voting as a people to benefit the people, just that what we want or what we think or what we feel. We have to stop saying, because listen to me, if whatever policy affects one, affects all. I don't care how good you think you got it. So if the criminal justice system is not overhauled, you make one mistake on your own or something happens or they mistake you for someone else, you in that system. So you have to stop saying this person lied, all of them lie. You also have to understand that if you look at rhetoric all the time, rhetoric is going to feed you. You're going to either digest it, chew it up, eat it, spit it up, swat it out. And a lot of people, especially women, that's doing this running voting, what's sad is this. They are voting on symbolism, someone that resembles them because they still feel they don't have enough power. They're not out front enough. They're not loved enough. Most of those that are voting may have several degrees, but have no true, real strong man married to. They don't have strong sons because they wouldn't vote so easily like that because it would be a discussion. They will see the policies that are made that affect the men and not just what glorifies themselves. And the men that follows, I know you feel like you have to still support your single mom or your sister or something like that. And the fact of it is you're not showing them strong leadership in manhood. You're not showing masculinity. And so if the women were still operating in femininity, not sexuality, you wouldn't really have this problem anyway. You wouldn't have them voting for the abortion. You wouldn't have them voting for all the LGBT things because they love their children no matter what. They believe in strong family values. They don't believe in somebody attacking, going after children, manipulating, mutilating them, and all this stuff without a parent's consent. All these are policies and agendas that affect the collective people. And as long as you think that you are hidden away from all of that, you're sadly mistaken. Because it does affect you. If it's affect any neighbor of yours, it affects you. So please, 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 if you say you're independent, talk about the pluses from both parties as well as the negative just from one. You got to be able to say there was a policy made and I'm reaching out to these, I'm saying this, I'm sending letters because we still need this. These people are speaking this way. Because if you don't vote, that's fear. I don't care what you say, you're afraid to cast a vote because you're still not satisfied with one or the other, but you're still hurting yourself for not voting. The couch can't make you rich. The couch can't get you a Supreme Court order. A couch can't get you anything. But your vote, they know who votes and who don't. They know, they listen to all these conversations. They know when they got people. So we need to be talking on these panels about how can we get to a point where even we disagree, there's got to be some agreement somewhere and we still going off on everything else. So last thing, this little video right here, I don't know why y'all are not paying attention. When a person is asking questions, when he does his hand like he's wiping, the Clorox Lysol disinfectant, several cleaners says it kills the coronavirus. That was on everything already. And so when he says that it cleans it, it kills it like that, can you seem like create something that can be injected inside the body? He didn't say inject that. Is there something that can be done that can do the same thing as it kills it on the surfaces right away? Pay attention and stop going with everybody's narrative. You got to listen to what people are not saying, or maybe he's never been a verbal person. He's not so politically astute, and he may not be able to say it right, but I catch it all.
Yeah,
So when
but that was
someone to my
ridiculous.
clean,
Diners,
But that was
Trump just
ridiculous.
said something that's going viral. I posted that clip. Please play it. It's really going viral right now.
Didn't I ask you to be quiet until I finish? I'm about done. Men, be quiet. Thank you.
I posted that clip, Diners. You can play it when you get a chance.
This is a male talking, not a man. You keep interrupting, so you're telling me you're still young. Okay? Thank you.
Diners, I hope you got it.
Hey, you see, Elvis, you're being disrespectful now. You're being disrespectful.
Yeah, he is. He's intentionally doing that. I got sons older than him. That's why I know how young he really is. And it's not by his age, it's by his actions. He don't know how to keep his mouth shut, and that's around adults talking. Thank you. I'll tell you just like that, you still being a boy, even if you don't like me saying that, but you acting like one. Stop it. And then you'll be listened to and you'll be heard. So therefore, we just have to understand that when all they hear all this back and forth and separation, that's what they want. So as people coming in, women are telling you, when women talking and they saying we're not voting this way and this is why, they're clarifying things that they know about. That's is what the women do and help men understand some things. But when you so staunch in something that even a woman coming along saying something, and the woman that's and remember, Kamala Harris says, I'm a woman of color. She ain't saying she's black. They're saying she's black. They said a woman of color because that's what she qualifies as. She would never qualify as a black woman because she's never been in the descendants of slavery or anything like that in that definition. So stop saying she's black. Just call her what she is, a woman of color, and you'll be fine. Say you're voting for a woman of color. Because I knew years ago when they start using that phrase, people of color, they was already erasing you and minimizing you as a body of people by yourself. So like she says, I will not do anything specifically for black people. No, because you have to understand that anything we do for black people will benefit all of America. That's the way they do their policies. You get a little bit, why for, because when they give you something, it's got to be inclusive of everyone else, but everyone else never have to include you. The Asian crime bill, the open borders, the LGBT alphabet community bills, all these things, nothing, and even the police reform, the George Floyd bill, they had the House, they had the Senate. She was deciding to vote in the Senate, and they had the president, and they never passed it. And so when they lost the seats in the Senate, all of a sudden they said they're blocking us from the George Floyd bill. And so these are policies that they didn't do when they had the House, Senate, and the presidency. You need to think about that. It's never going to change. It's about the party, not the person. Y'all have a good night, and I'll still listen.
And both parties are in the same mindset when it comes to us as a people benefiting. However, his gross ineptness to understand basic medical concept procedures is evident because you don't disinfect a disease in the body with an injection. So you can't excuse that away or try to explain that away. And the UV thing, I have no concept of the UV thing, but that was a telltale all sign of his level of ignorance and understanding of medicine. It's ridiculous. And this is the man y'all want to be the president.
Yeah, but didn't he
The
get the
president,
vaccine though, right?
Dinus, I hope we can play that clip that I posted. You know, it's going real viral right now.
I will. Go ahead.
Yeah, but didn't Donald Trump bring the vaccine? You know, he got the vaccine, right? Didn't Joe Biden take it, right? Take it, and then he still got COVID, you know, again. So what were we talking about all this
No,
for?
Carla, COVID-19 is different, right? There are different strands. The
Oh,
vaccine. Hold on now. The vaccine was for a specific strand of the COVID virus.
yeah,
It
okay.
can mutate. You know, viruses can mutate and add different strands to it. So it's not the same cure for that different variant of the virus. So that's why you always got to be careful. It's not killing people on the same level.
Hold on. We were only heard that when Biden got office. Oh, it's different strains now. We can't. There's more people dying under Biden with the vaccine and whatnot than it was actually when Trump was in there with no vaccine. So,
Most black people died under Trump, though.
yeah, well,
can I just
it doesn't matter. People
Trump
who
handled the virus terribly. He said it was a hoax. It was a Chinese hoax, and he didn't take it seriously, and it killed a lot of people before he started to take it seriously.
Carla, you got a minute, Carla. I can pass the 1 minute.
okay, that's another lie, right? When Trump first heard about the virus at the State of the Union, right? He told Nancy Pelosi, "I'm gonna ban flights from China from spreading in the United States." They right away jumped on him, said he was a racist towards Chinese. He said it was a China virus. That's where he came from. Now we see with the gain of function, Fauci and all these other Bill Gates, all these people, they were experimenting with the virus in a Wuhan lab and whatnot. That's the truth, you know. But the bottom line, they don't want that to come out. And so
Yes, it's true.
when he said we're gonna ban stuff from spreading, and when everybody says no, that's racist. You can't ban the Chinese. What happened? It spread to Europe. It spread to the United States.
It was already in Europe, and those
No,
people from Italy was coming to New York, and that was what killed a bunch of us in the early stages of the COVID virus. Is them Europeans coming into New York because Trump didn't take the shit serious enough and ban everybody.
Bottom line is, Trump said we're gonna ban all flights or anybody that had any contact with China, thing like that. People said no, that's racist and whatnot, and that was it. That didn't virus spread. That's what
No,
happened.
No, the rhetoric he spread, that's what even started the hate, the Asian hate. Because he was saying that it was an Asian virus, it was a Chinese virus, and people started hating Asians.
And
That rhetoric started that
were
hate.
bringing it over at that time.
That's his question. Two things Trump said was true. He said, yeah, we got a lot of these people from shithole countries coming over here, and he said the virus was a China virus created by Chinese, and he called it Kung Flu virus and whatnot. He was absolutely 100% right.
Yes, but the people at that time, he was saying that people in Europe
Kala,
had
is Liberia a shithole?
had the virus, and they were coming to New York.
I love. It's a shithole, but I love.
All right, you got your wife from a shithole.
Yeah, so she knows it. That's why she wants to come here.
Yeah.
Well,
you don't want to be around you Negroes. Well, that,
Yeah, well, I don't know what to say about you with that.
Right, good for you, Kala.
So the bottom line is, all you guys from like Elvis from third world countries and whatnot, yeah, you got. Of course, you want Kamala. If I was in your situation, I want Kamala too. But do you talk about the future of the United States? Now you're talking about our lives here. And this lady right here, and you got wars in every country and whatnot. We have not seen the time when we had the Vietnam War kids going out to get drafted and dying in some thing. That could really happen.
Yeah, but Kala,
The last time we had a war, a war started by a president with the United States involved was a Republican president under Bush.
And people did not push back when I said that the foreign policy is not going to change in this country with Donald Trump. It's going to be the same. Nobody disagreed with that.
Hold on, you say that, but Russia didn't invade nobody, Donald Trump. Kim Jong-il wasn't firing rockets when Donald Trump was in office.
What are you talking about? Kim Jong-il had a rocket landing Guam. What are you talking about?
He met with Kim Jong-il, and
he had a rocket landing in Guam while Trump was president. What do you mean he didn't fly no rockets under Trump?
He was the first U.S. president to step on North Korean soil.
Oh my gosh! There you go, moving the goalpost. It's just not true.
So also, yes, it is true.
What I'm saying is he was flying rockets under Trump.
But he was saying
Things was even escalating. He was calling him Little Rocket Man. They was doing tests. There was a lot of things going on in North Korea under Trump. That's why they even had that sit down, because things are really starting to escalate.
With Putin.
You know that, Carla.
He liked Putin.
All right, hold on, woman. You wanted to add something before we close out?
Yeah, me?
No, woman. Go ahead, woman.
No, I was going to comment on COVID, but the conversation has moved away, so you guys can go ahead.
No, woman, you can comment on COVID, woman. Woman, go ahead and comment on COVID. Then we'll close.
No, I was just going to say two things. It's not a requirement for the president to have extensive medical knowledge. So Trump did, that's what he was saying about the using the disinfectant. Yeah, it didn't make sense, but he seemed to be asking a medical professional about it in that moment. And also, light therapy can be used to treat certain illnesses. So that was valid when he said about using the light. And then furthermore, I wanted to say, as far as the vaccine, I believe it was Elvis who's trying to explain to everyone, oh yeah, but you do know that vaccines do mutate. Yes, they do. That's why they shouldn't have been forcing us to get a vaccine, because everyone should have known, everyone involved who was pushing it from what's his name?
Fauci,
from Fauci down, they should know that, okay, we can create a vaccine, but this virus can mutate and the vaccine will be completely useless. So they should not have been pushing it for everyone to take it.
And I'm disappointed.
You take a flu shot every year. The cold is not the same every year. You take a flu shot every year.
I do not. I actually do not take a flu shot every year, and the flu shot is optional. The flu shot is
smart people take a flu shot every year.
Who condone men who will disrespect
the flu shot
women,
is optional.
grab their vaginas, say that he will grab their vaginas, and then
your kids have to take flu shots to go to school. It's not optional for kids going to school.
Okay with
can I just say something? I'd like to respond to Elvis.
Support Trump.
Go ahead, woman.
I want to respond to Elvis, because Elvis is doing something that a lot of Black people and white people who are Democrats like to do. They like to make it seem like you have to be a Democrat or you're stupid. I'm a very educated person, okay? And my children and I do not take flu shots because I'm actually in the medical field. I'm an RN manager. So the subject we're on right now, I know lots and lots about it. My children do not go to school. My children are being homeschooled by me because I'm an educated person while I also work. So your little comment about smart people take flu shots makes no sense, because if you were smart, you'd understand that every single year there are at least 2 versions of the flu. And if you take a flu shot, there's a pretty good chance that you come in contact with the flu virus that you were not vaccinated for, and you would get the flu anyways. So it's a waste of time and a waste of your insurance company's money. So
Are
these
you a
little,
medical, are you a medical doctor or a CNA?
You're a
this,
woman and you
I'm an
condone a
RN. I'm an
rapist.
RN. I'm not a CNA.
Right.
I'm an
And you
RN.
condone
Okay,
a
If
male
you're
you
not a
can
rapist.
medical
please just be
doctor then.
quiet.
I don't take medical
You,
advice from you. That's
I'm not
why you
giving
had
you.
to take your kids out of
I'm not
school
giving
and
you. I'm not giving
homeschool
you
them
medical advice, but
because
you
they
want to give us
needed
medical
to take a
advice.
flu shot in order to
You
go
don't
around with
know.
the kids.
You don't know what you're talking about, and you have
You
this air of
condone a male rapist?
You have to take a
superiority.
flu shot in order to not
Be your
spread the
president?
flu amongst other kids in school. That's why it's mandatory to take flu shots before you go to school.
Let me let me
When
say
is it mandatory to take a flu shot before you go to
it's
school?
not. It's not.
It
Oh my
is. You got to go get your flu shot every year before you go to school. You got to get your flu shot.
Elvis, no, you
That
don't.
measles shot.
No, you don't.
Oh God dang, Elvis. Oh my goodness.
The only place
You're
you
a woman. You're a woman and you
You don't
condone a
take your kid to
male
get a flu
rapist.
shot,
You
Dinus?
condone a male
Huh?
rapist as your
Do you
president.
take your kid to get a flu shot?
That's for the
No,
woman.
no, Elvis, what are you talking about?
let me
Every
say
year we had to get flu shot. When I was in school, in primary and in secondary school, I had to get a flu shot every year
That's
to go to
you,
school.
Elvis. Elvis,
My
that's
sister
you.
and I, every year
Elvis,
we had to get
No,
a flu
that's
shot.
back in the 60s.
you.
You used to have to take the rubella, the chicken pox, and measles shots,
Yeah, those,
vaccinations. You used to have to do
You
that
did
back in
not.
the
The flu shot was
70s and
not
60s.
mandatory. Elvis,
yeah.
It was mandatory in the 60s and 70s.
flu shot?
The measles and the
No,
Not
we're
the
talking.
flu
We're
shot.
talking. We're talking flu shot.
no, not no flu
Yeah, I
shot.
don't know what the hell Elvis talking about.
Let
Elvis
me
is.
let me
Yeah.
say something real quick, because I heard this thing about when Trump says grab him by the pussy.
No,
You
no, no,
don't
not just that. What he did to that woman in Bergdorf and Goodman.
wait. I want to address that part you said. I'd
Right.
rather have a person says grab him by one than the other one that used it.
Well, he grabbed the woman in Bergdorf and
And
Goodman.
Kamala
So,
uses hers to get where she was. Thank
well,
you.
I have more respect for that though.
yeah. This is a
I have
man who
more respect
demands
for that than
respect.
somebody
This
who
is an old
forces
man who
himself
demands
on a
respect.
woman.
No,
And
I'm
These
women
telling
people
you
will
because
always
condone
project.
that.
They're
no,
disrespectful to their
no,
Women
core,
will be
but they
no.
okay
want
with
others
a
to
man that
respect
does
them.
that.
All right,
Women will
go
be
ahead.
okay with a
Never
man
sleep.
that
Go
does
ahead. Go
that.
ahead. Wilson never sleep. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you talk like you know everything. The woman trying to tell you her profession and stuff. The people that really requires flu shots annually are those adults that is in a healthcare daycare facility with the TB shot as well, TB test. It's not children that's required to get a flu shot in going to school. Not anywhere in the states that I know about, but I do know about the adults. They're required those things to stay in those facilities annually. TB tests and flu shots, or they call them influenza. And so those are things that they are required to do. And
So
most of them
I
now
don't know if
don't.
you.
Most of them now don't even take those shots anymore because they learn more about getting the flu after taking the shots. Because, like she said, it's more than one strand of the flu, and most people get sicker. And some of them have died from the so-called flu they was vaccinated against. That's facts in the system of adults going on right now. So that in and of itself. But I threw that out there not to
That's
say
not even
it is.
medically true. Those are people who have compromised immune system, usually the old. Those are the ones that die from flu, not healthy people.
God, the Elvis, bro. I
Oh
just.
my! Do
Oh
you
man.
know
I
the
mean,
flu? The flu,
It's a
like
fact
anything
that
else.
the flu kill people over 60 and up at a higher rate than any other age group. So
It does.
senior citizens tend to die more from the flu than anybody else.
well,
And
Elvis,
people with
that's
compromised immune systems.
Yeah,
that's
the people with compromised immune system, like I
The
said.
that's
black people that died in COVID in New York, that they
A
had
lot of
the
people have asthma,
reports,
and
A
the
other
lot of
underlying illnesses.
lot
those
of
were
later
black
deaths from
people.
COVID. A lot of the deaths and physical problems when health problems later came, not in just adults. There's a lot of healthy young people with myocarditis and things that was delayed reaction because those things was up to 2 years delayed in a lot of people. So there was a lot of healthy people dropping all over the place, dropping. paralysis. There was bikers and everything else. They was very healthy, and that vaccine hurt a lot of people and
That
killed
was
a lot of
minute.
people that
That
was
was
different.
minute.
Exactly. That was minute. And some of those
Minute
people have
compared to
underlying
the black
condition
people that
Listen,
died with
that is
those are
COVID
not.
and
hereditary.
Those,
Some people have
pre-existing
underlying condition that is hereditary that's passed down.
right
Come on,
because
man.
of
those were
pre-existing
not. Those were
health
not my
disparities.
news. There's a lot of numbers out there that y'all don't want to listen
But
to,
we're
and
comparing it
there
to the
are there.
black people that died in the first round of people that died. There were hundreds of thousands of people that died in New York alone. All of those people that were dying in the hospitals were people who had existing health disparities and some who were just overweight.
Right. Obesity is an
Yeah,
underlying condition.
that's it.
And
Yeah, I
so
guess
from
that's a
and
health disparity.
so as a collective people, what did we learn from that? We still miss most of them still haven't changed their way of eating, or their
Right,
diet, or exercise, or anything. Correct?
right.
Is that
And
is that
that's
the
what
Democrats'
and
And
fault,
that's
or
what
is that a
the
personal
medical
responsibility that we should be taking?
right.
I
But
didn't
that is the
I
Poverty,
didn't
medical institution.
poverty
You know
also
that they
contributes
never
to obesity.
guys
People who can't eat
guys
right, they tend to be
you
guys
know
more
that they
obese.
never do you know that
guys.
they
I
never
didn't ask
mentioned
a
wait a minute, wait a minute,
guys.
wait a minute.
I didn't
Wait,
say
wait,
to
wait,
you.
wait, wait,
Did I
wait.
ask you a question? Did those Democrat or Republican people change anything? I
Now
said, did
that's a
our
different
people?
subject.
I said, did our people make any changes to their lifestyle and behavior that already
I
happened?
heard what you said.
Well,
I
he
acknowledge
jumped
what
in
you
and said
said.
Republican, Democrat. That's what I didn't ask.
Right. So no, I did hear what you said, and I acknowledge what you said.
Thank you.
And my response to what you said is that not one time did I hear Dr. Fauci or any people make announcements about don't eat any dairy, don't eat any white flour, don't eat any, just cut back your sugar. No, nothing about diet at all.
Correct.
Zero about diet. And
Correct.
this is what our health institutions do. Their medicine, their form of medicine is not good in general.
Correct.
All right. Let me pass the Brian Brown. We got close out. Go ahead, Brian. Brian, you're on your key wireless.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
It's better. Go ahead.
All right. Well, I just wanted to one kind of defend the sister because what Elvis is saying, and you can really look this up. And since you didn't want to talk to her, I'm actually a MD. So what she told you is absolutely correct. There's about 16 strains of the flu, and there's over 100 substrains. Annually, you are only protected by 3 strains. So the flu shot is a waste of time. That's it. Look it up. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean,
So, as a medical doctor, you advise the patients not to take the flu shot. It does more harm than good for them to take it.
I wouldn't. They've kind of connected, taking the flu shot with an increase in cancer rates. But if you were a younger patient, I would advise against it. I'm actually at the hospital now. If you're old, like they do give it to the geriatric patients here in the hospital. But 30,
Doc,
40, 50, I don't see the reason for
Doc,
taking
I would
Go
hope
ahead.
you would advise us to take vitamin D in the winter and to clean up our diet. I would hope that you would tell us that, because you said you don't know what to say, because we just finished saying that they don't tell us those basic things to do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of things during during this whole COVID thing, this pandemic thing, that some of us that weren't per se, like, of course, nobody wants to lose their license, and I'm in Texas, and we were being threatened with sanctions and et cetera and so on regarding your license to actually practice. But I'll tell you the truth, most of your physicians knew that the vaccine was problematic. In fact, the majority of them probably didn't take it. So that's the truth. So say what you want to, Elvis.
So, in your professional advice, what do you
Sure.
think was the reason why COVID kind of had it went down and kind of plateaued? What do you think it was? Not the vaccine. What do you think it was?
Yeah, well, what happened to the COVID counter in the corner of the TV? What happened to that? Where did it go?
No, I'm not asking about
No,
that. I'm
but
asking
what
about
I'm
what do you
saying,
think caused COVID to go
yeah,
down and kind
yeah,
of
yeah. What I'm
stop?
saying is what I'm saying is what happened to the counter that was in the corner of your TV screen, scaring the shit out of you all the time. Where's that at now?
I want to get a professional,
No,
medical.
I'm answering your question.
No,
What I'm saying to you is they
Mhm.
stopped highlighting it.
So are you saying there's still a pandemic going on and we're just not
No,
highlighting it?
what I'm saying there, in my opinion, there never was.
Oh, okay, there you go. Thank you. Thank you for that professional
Yeah, in my
opinion.
like, if you were to go back and you look at the mortality rates, this is something I was telling my mom and my dad the whole time. I'm from Chicago. I got a lot of family in Mississippi, and I was telling them the whole time, just pick a county and look at the death rate. You will not find a county that had a death rate that was above 1.8%. Never be above 2.
New
So you're
York is the
talking.
exception, though, right?
Excuse me.
New York would be the exception. I mean, I'm here and I'm seeing the freezer truck out full of
Yeah,
dead bodies.
I don't believe you. And
Well,
I
I
just
seen it
don't
with my
believe.
eyes.
Yeah, you see a lot of stuff.
Right. I seen it with
I
my
just
eyes.
first.
And
Well,
I have a friend who was a
yeah.
nurse in one of the hospitals here in New York, and he was
Look,
telling me the amount of people dying.
let me explain this to you. And again, they allow you to see what they want you to see to paint a narrative. Okay. So if it was that kind of pandemic, you would still see freezers. You would still see that. When is the last time you heard about somebody being placed on a ventilator? They were placing people on ventilators, like most of what you do a whole lot of times when we would get somebody in triage or ICU or something like that. One of the first things you look for is like their pulse level, their O2 levels, their SATs. And they were putting people on ventilators, and they hadn't even desaturated below 85%.
Dr. Brown, did you catch COVID during the pandemic?
Yeah, I caught it and didn't really know what it was.
Was it different? Did you feel it different than like a common cold? Because I
Yeah,
caught it. I don't know if anybody
yeah,
else on this platform caught it.
and see that's
That
what
shit was
that's
virulent.
what I'm saying.
It was
Like
brutal. Mine was very brutal.
Mine was
So I
very
know
virulent.
for a fact it did happen. Like the doctor was saying.
We have a professional doctor on here. Y'all just cannot be quiet. Let the man finish.
But and that's why I try to be unbiased. When I caught it, I could tell this was something different. I definitely could. I could tell, like, whoa, this is a little different. It set me down for a couple of days. I lost weight. So it was different. However, you guys didn't do enough research. I don't understand this about black people. You talk about racism and white supremacy, but then when white folks come to you and say, hey, take this, you like, well, sign me up. I don't understand that. There were people that I was bringing up Tuskegee to, and they didn't want to hear it. I don't understand it. It does not make, and now these same people that lied to you and told you, well, it was 100% effective. Let me tell you this. Anytime somebody tells you something is 100% effective, run.
Hey, Brian, Mr. I'm sorry, let me put some respect on your name, Dr. Brown.
Man, you can call me B. It ain't no
No,
big deal.
listen, you're a doctor. Like all my
Yeah.
friends who are doctors, with their doctor, I call them doctor.
All right.
So Joe Biden said that if you took the COVID vaccine, that you won't catch COVID.
Correct. Right. Yeah, he lied. And the weird thing is when Operation Warp Speed was rolled out by Donald Trump, and black people had the exact right mentality regarding that when Donald Trump rolled it out. I love black folks so much. I kind of wish that he would have been reelected, because then y'all wouldn't have took the shot.
I didn't take it, and my family members didn't take it.
Who is this that's speaking? Is this Elvis?
Ja.
You did take it. I don't believe you.
No, I did not take it. I still haven't taken it to date. And I
Yeah,
got COVID. I got
don't
COVID a
believe
year
you.
ago. Well, no, I'm
Yeah.
not lying. I don't need to lie about
Okay.
that. Yeah, I don't need to lie about that. My first
Okay.
COVID was about a year ago. I forgot my first COVID. Now, what I did do is I sent some money to Nigeria so that they could make sacrifice to Obaluaye when it first happened, and I
Okay.
didn't get no diseases for about a year, and I
Yeah.
made sacrifice to my ancestors too. Boom.
Okay. Well, if it works, do it. I don't have any problem with that. But no, like I mean, like I said, Joe Biden lied about it. And I'm voting for Trump, but Trump lied about it. Trump said it was safe and effective. I think that's the problem that some of the blue no matter who crowd, that's the problem I think that you guys have. You can't admit that both sides lie. It's just one side.
Bingo. Bingo.
No, both sides lied, but Trump was not saying everyone has to take it or lose your job.
But that would yeah, that is a plus, but that wasn't my point. That because like I said, I prefaced my statement by saying that I am voting for Donald Trump. I'm from Chicago. There's no way I would vote for Kamala.
Is it mainly because of the immigration situation?
That's a huge issue, but it's also because I think little boys should be little boys and little girls should be little girls. I would probably flip out if I came to school and they had my little boy in a dress and they weren't telling me about it. I'm a black man, and I believe that if you take away some of the credentials and all that, she throw me under jail and have me fighting fires. Yeah, I mean, take your pick. I don't understand you guys, to be honest.
Well, they may both lie, but Donald Trump lies like it's 90 going north. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, because you say so.
No, because I put in a chat room, you can look. I put 14 lies that he's told, and the other brother, Elvis, put another 1,000 lies that he's told. So you can actually look at the lies that he's told.
I hear you. Did those lies result?
But do you really hear me?
Did those lies? No, I hadn't looked at it yet, but I will. I promise you I will, because I like to look at both sides.
But you know he lies, though. You already know he lies. They do fact checks on him. The news, the major CNN, and all these news do fact checks on him when he was doing his thing, and they would say, "This is a lie. This is a
Hold on a
lie."
minute. Hold on. Who does the fact check? Say it again.
CNN.
Thank you.
Not
say
just
it again.
CNN, but a lot of the networks, all the major networks.
Hey, Joy Reid at the View.
Right. Yeah. So.
But the truth is the truth.
So I guess my last question, and then I'm gonna step off and start back listening like I do, is the lies that Donald Trump told, did they result in the destruction of black families? Did they incarcerate 1,000 brothers and sisters? Oh, they did?
Not the incarceration, but when he downplayed COVID and said, hold on.
What's the issue?
1 second, Doc. When he said that COVID was a hoax, it's not real. A lot of people didn't take, heed to it. And you saw what happened to Herman King. Herman King went to one of these rallies and died from COVID complications. You know that, right? You know who Herman King is, the 999 guy? Went to one of these rallies and got COVID and died. That destroyed a black family. He was a breadwinner for his family, a wealthy man. He died from COVID because they didn't take it seriously because Trump was telling them it wasn't serious. It's not a real thing. It's a Chinese hoax. That's one black family I can think about, and I'm sure a lot of other black families suffer from that too.
And then when he did say that it came from China, what they did is they put a ban on China instead of putting a ban on everywhere, because the people coming from Europe was bringing they had already gotten it. They came into New York with it, and it killed thousands of black folks. We were the first casualties.
You think so? So the virus just looked for black people. You guys are crazy.
No, the virus.
No, because black people who have a lot of underlying condition were more susceptible to dying from COVID, and that had a higher impact on black people.
And we're first responder jobs. We're the ones driving the buses, or the nurses and technicians and all of these jobs in the hospitals that are not doctors or even RNs. We're the first responder jobs. That's why we got it first. Those young people took that home. Can you mute up, please? Can you mute your mics, please? Those young people that work in those jobs took that home to their families, and the older people, the obese people, these are the people that got it from the first responders. That's how it found us so quick.
I can personally say that I don't know.
Let Mr. Brown respond, please, Dr. Brown.
Okay. Well, that what you guys are dealing with is a lot of speculation. Honestly, there's a few other things that I would have you take a look at. I would have you take a look at the mortality rate of people that are put on ventilators. There's a mortality rate of 80%. If they put you on a vent, you're basically done.
Yes.
That's one thing.
Yeah, that's because you probably can't breathe on your own because it's so severe.
Allow me to finish? Can I finish? Okay, so that's not why, because I prefaced even before I went in that they were putting people on ventilators for just desaturating into the 80s. That is not a cause to be ventilated. What this was the hospitals got $36,000 payout for the vent. You got another cash payment for a COVID diagnosis. You just don't, and there's certain things, that maybe I would speak to, maybe Dinus at another time about, but you have no idea about healthcare. And I'm just listening to you and I'm like, my people are so confused because this was about money.
Dr. Brown, if I can interject. 1 second, Mr. Sleets. I still want Dr. Brown to finish. But at the same time, you also have to sprinkle what I call TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. Go ahead.
100%. 100%. And so let me just say this, and then what I would say is don't listen to me. See, a lot of times you guys listen to people that are established as authority, but most of the time they have to be white. So I probably have no worry with that. But take what I say and then go look it up, okay? Now, one thing, so you get put on the ventilator. The hospital gets a kickback for putting you on the vent. You only have a 20% chance of survival after you've been ventilated. So what happens, you actually fatigue the lung tissue. You start to desat even more. Your heart starts to overwork. Do you know what the treatment was once you went to the hospital for COVID? Elvis, do you know what the treatment was? Because you seem like you have done some research. What was the
No,
treatment?
I know nothing like you said, doctor. I know nothing. You're the doctor. I'll listen to your professional advice.
Because, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I thought realistically you may have known. It was remdesivir. Okay, did you hear that? Remdesivir.
I heard that.
Remdesivir causes kidney failure. Okay, remdesivir is a repurposed drug that had failed in Africa already. So the first line drug to treat COVID was remdesivir. Remdesivir causes your kidneys to fail. When your kidneys fail, what do your kidneys do? Well, what happens when your kidneys fail? You start to get fluid on the lungs. Right? So you get pulmonary edema. So then your heart starts to overwork. You go into congestive heart failure. So what were most of the people dying of? Heart failure.
10 seconds, doctor.
After being put on remdesivir. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about it. What I'm saying is, look it up. Stop arguing your political perspective. Look up the research.
I just want to make a comment quickly.
Stop arguing about how you feel.
I want to make a comment.
Go ahead.
Because everything you're saying, I respect that you're a medical doctor, as you said. Sure. But all of this is in hindsight. Yeah. Because at the time, this was a virus that was pretty new. They were looking for cures. They were looking for ways to treat it. So, and most medications will have some side effects. and they said it was effective in some ways, and perhaps it had some side effect. And maybe one of those side effects were, you might have a kidney failure. So I'm not a doctor, but I'm saying this is something that now you can look back on and say, well,
Yeah.
maybe this was more destructive than it was beneficial. But again, these are doctors who were trying to find remedies to the COVID virus. So do you think they were negligent in doing that, or do you think they were just trying to find help for their patients?
I think initially you are kind of shooting in the dark, but you learn real quick. I mean, I'm just telling you the truth. Really quick, you learn when you lose a couple of patients. When you say, well, damn, this one here, we got pulmonary effusion. This one died, pulmonary edema. This one we put on remdesivir. They desat it to 71. Same thing here, same thing here. So within several months, we knew that remdesivir is not working. Everybody knew that. If you Google, and they're not a friend. If you look it up, even the World Health Organization had spoke out against the use of remdesivir, and they were still using it.
But we knew it wasn't working because motherfuckers was dying. They said it wasn't working. So you're telling us that we shouldn't trust the Western medicine. We shouldn't trust y'all. You don't do preventative stuff. You don't tell people about diet, right? You all you do is prescribe drugs. So you're basically telling us don't mess with y'all.
That's a hard one. What I'm telling you is to definitely do your own research with a lot of stuff, and you have to be very particular about choosing your primary care physician, because some doctors, a lot of them, I'm acute, and I got quite a few of my frat or whatever that are MDs, and even some of my friends respect it. They were kind of a little more concerned about their license than patient care, because we were getting letters like in the mail, like, hey, don't prescribe this. Don't prescribe this. If you do, you can get a ding on your license. You'll get a sanction. This will happen. And you had to make a decision on, saving somebody's mom or dad or your license, or find a creative way to work around it.
So in hindsight, now that you
Yeah.
know, how would you have treated a patient with COVID without the vaccine? How would you have treated them?
Well, I probably was a little more unorthodox. I'll say that. I can sleep because of the methods that I employ.
Which was?
Because otherwise, some of the things that you guys were a little afraid of, because they told you to be afraid of it on CNN.
Which were?
Well, I'm gonna leave it there.
Ivermectin, right? Ivermectin, the horse
Like I said,
tranquilizer medicine.
I'm gonna leave it right there. Some of the things that, they told you guys to be fearful of, we saw amazing results in the clinic with it.
Ivermectin is not a horse tranquilizer.
No, chloroquine.
No, it's not.
Yes,
Chloroquine.
I'm saying that because Elvis just stated that, which is incorrect information again.
I said ivermectin and the horse tranquilizer drug, right? Which is
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
chloroquine.
not a.
It's not.
Which is the
That's why I said that.
chloroquine.
It's been used by over 3 billion people to treat river blindness. It actually got a prize, like a Nobel Peace Prize.
If I can also just add, I think what you're trying to refer to is what CNN called horse dewormer. It's not a tranquilizer. Ivermectin.
The only reason that they referred to it as a horse dewormer, because it was an anti-parasitic medication that has a aspect of being a protease inhibitor, which is the same method by which the drug that I'm sure Elvis would have no problem taking, Paxlovid. All they did was change a couple of molecules. Paxlovid works in the same manner as ivermectin. It's a protease inhibitor. Same method.
I just wanted to add that medication is commonly used in Africa for parasitic infections.
Correct.
And as we know, persons in Africa were not dying by the hundreds of thousands from COVID because a lot of them had already.
Correct.
Thank you very much,
100%.
doctor.
Pick
But what about
100%. So,
chloroquine?
well, I didn't. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything, negative about it, but I have more experience with some of the other ones.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, thanks, Dynas, man.
Hey man, anytime. I'm glad, whenever we get a professional on here, is great. So I
Yes.
appreciate you taking time out to come on. Now,
Okay,
Elvis,
brother.
now, Elvis, you said your Samuel Doe was from the same tribe as you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I can see why Liberia went straight to shit. God damn, Elvis. I don't know sometimes, man. I can see how that country is fucked up now. If Samuel Doe remotely thought like you, I see why what happened to Liberia.
I don't get it, Dinus. What do you mean?
Because you get it. All right.
No, I don't get it.
Wisdom never sleeps. Are you there?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, Elvis, Elvis, you get it. I mean, damn, if
No,
you
no.
if,
If you're insinuating, I don't know what you're insinuating, but
if
I
you're
asked
from
the
the same
doctor's
tribe,
question
if you're from
because he refused to say ivermectin because he knew people
if
like that
you're
were
from the
getting their
same
license
if
pulled.
Samuel Doe is from the same tribe as you, I can see how that country with the shit. All right, go ahead, Wisdom never sleep.
Yeah, Dinus, you can make petty cracks like that, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I was going to say that I do know people that when they put them on those ventilators, they did die. I do know that was people that when they called 911 with heart attacks, strokes, they was in 4-stage cancer, need to go, but at the time they wasn't admitting people. So they died at home, but they still put COVID on their death certificate. So a lot of people that died didn't die of COVID itself or from COVID. They put it on there because it was a money grab. And there are a lot of people went in and started challenging the hospitals or the coroners that was putting it on the death certificate because they knew that the people didn't have COVID when they died at home from a heart attack because they couldn't get 911 to come out. They couldn't get there for the last stages of cancer and things like that. So it was quite a few people, car accidents and things of that nature died on the scene that never tested for COVID, but they put it on the death certificate because those numbers needed to be there and the money need to be there. When my eldest sister, who had a lot of pre-existing conditions, went to the hospital, uh, automatically they tested you for COVID, and they said she got COVID. I challenged them and for a retest, and then she didn't have COVID because I knew what they was doing. They could spin and spin those tests until they got the results they needed because it was for money. Because they come in and says, one doctor said, your sister don't have any symptoms of COVID at all. I said, I know. I'm waiting on the days they have. I think they had 48 hours or 72 hours before they could retest. And so they come back and says, no, she don't have it. It was a false positive. There's a lot of that going around, but if you didn't challenge it and you didn't know anything, people went through that because they left them alone. But a lot of people didn't know that there was a hospital policy that if a person couldn't speak for themselves, they had a right for a person to be with them at all times. And I had to challenge that too and won that as well at the hospital because I already had the policy in my hand, which the own hospital staff did not know and got in trouble about. So a lot of the older people didn't have to die alone. But like I said, in that time, I do know personally of quite a few people that the ones that didn't get on the ventilator came home and those that did never made it out. So what he's saying, because of the attacks, is respiratory. That's what this particular strand of that COVID it was more attack of the respiratory, but unfortunately, other things happen around there that exacerbated things. An old good friend of mine, his wife went in, they had gotten the shot. I told him, no, not gonna do it. Oh, you one of those people, conspiracy? I said, no, I've been doing a lot of homework. So just like Shaw, I didn't get no shots, but I also never got COVID either. Do the whole process ever.
But
And
do you
so
think COVID was real? Do you think it actually happened, or was it a hoax?
it was a real created virus. It was really real. It wasn't a virus. Virus was created from the inside. It was whatever it was. It was still there. So it was a real creation. But what I'm saying is most of the deaths was not from COVID, but COVID attributed, exacerbated other things within that already had a pre-existing condition sometimes. Like the person that drank and had a slight liver problem, she died real quickly when after she had the vaccine shot. The rest of the hospital, she never come home. And so I didn't want to tell him. I said, I tried to tell y'all not to take the shot because it affected her liver really fast. And within in 2 weeks or less, she was gone. And she was walking around really well before she got the shot with no other, So I'm saying that we have to understand that we just can't say millions of black people died first when we're not always first. We might be targeted the most with everything, but we're not always just first. But so we have to understand again that these things happen. I never said nothing wasn't real, but I was listening to a lot of this stuff long before it became popular and well known. I was listening to other doctors, other scientists, and things like that was in the know that was talking about things were coming. So when Fauci says you're going to run into a pandemic or something of that effect during your presidency, they already planned it out and knew it was the thing
See,
was
there
developed
you
right.
go. There you go. You're
It's
going
been
there.
listen, it's been proven that it was developed here in the Carolinas and then it went over to China where they released it at and things like that. So that's a fact proven. That's not no theory or conspiracy. It is facts that has been
So
put out.
what was the
It's
purpose?
listen, it's been put out on your own CNN and
Right.
MSNBC and
No,
all those. They
right. No,
reported it later.
a better question would be: is it going to be a difference between either Kamala administration or Trump administration in terms of anything that is like that in the future? Is there going to be a difference? Because I don't think it mattered who was in office, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, with regards to this plan that they had, this virus that they created. It does not matter,
Yeah,
Trump or Kamala.
this
The
is the
thing was going to
difference.
happen. It was
Yeah,
going to
right.
happen.
I'm not saying it wasn't. The
And I'm
difference
saying,
is
what are
this.
we doing as
The
a people
difference is,
about that, though?
listen, the difference is this. Do you know that Joe Biden, this administration, wanted to sign the treaty with the World Health Organization or with the WHO for they can govern all of the health things when the next thing that they release come out. They would have to say so, not the individual sovereign places. A lot of countries will sign on, but it got killed because a lot of countries said no. We will defend our own sovereign place because a lot of them had control over and they didn't have the deaths and problems that they was trying to get them to take all these vaccines for. So that was this administration trying to give over the sovereign power of the United States to a governing body of the world that was saying one thing and doing another that is also paid for by a lot of big donors, the Bill Gates and things like that. That's the
And you're
difference.
saying
Wherefore,
Trump
wait,
wouldn't?
no, Trump said that they're not giving no more money to them because other countries are not. They're not doing anything, leveraging like the other. We was paying all of the money. United States was paying most of the money, not getting the results from them. So that's a difference with the administration. I'm not saying things are not going to happen like wars and anything like that. When there's a plan from the puppet masters, things are going to happen one side or the other. It's
Right.
just that who will then sell out their people greater than the other for the almighty dollar in the end.
Can I ask you a question, please? You know, about every 100 years or so, we have a pandemic, a epidemic. Like we had the plague, right? The black plague. We
Spanish
had
flu,
chicken
Spanish
pox,
flu, 20s.
the Spanish plague. We had polio and all these different things. Are you saying all of those things were planned and were released to the public so that it can infect us and kill us?
No, some things come about before modern medicine or science can understand those. But anything created in a lab and can be a plan, when someone tells you that there's going to be something, they already know what they're going to do. But when there's something out there, like you had the bubonic plague, you have malaria in Africa, you have these things that do happen, and then they have to catch up with it, like polio. Those are things that they created a true cure for. Okay. So those things they address as they knew them and they come along with it. It's just like now, like glaucoma, there's no cure for glaucoma, but there's other cures for other kind of blindness. There's other things that they can do, but there's certain things they're still working on and researching. No matter what, they still haven't found that particular cure of that site. And they was talking back that even back in the 1800s, all they said was there's something that's blocking the fluid, can't drain, and there's no cure for it. So you will see that ongoing still. But there are things that are planned, like what they call the AIDS virus and things like that. Those things are laboratorily created and put out. That's just a fact, and that's a known truth. The
And in
other
the
things
40s,
happen. Some things happen that they have no answer for, that they have to find an answer for. And
well,
when they do, they do address those, and they become squashed out. You don't see them in a relatively way again.
right. And then as early
Well,
as the
guys,
40s,
I gotta close out. We can always do a part 2. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, dynasty, search for Huru. Peace.